Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Kayfabe Podcast. If you are seeing these lovely faces, you know it's Saturday, and you know it's about that time for us to be talking wrestling. Now, we have an agreement amongst the three of us. So, and normally we have something that we'd have to say if the person is late. And today, Mr. Punctuality himself, Mr. All-Star fan of Deonne, was late today.
I got us on a late start.
Yeah. But because he is now Big Papa Deonne, he's a new father. I'm going to give him a pass to where he does not have to say the line that he dreads to say if he's late.
Okay, I appreciate that. I really do. As you say that, as I get my coffee. Hold on one second.
Oh yeah, see, look at this. Tried to give him a pass, and he's still like, "Hold on, I gotta grab my stuff." But yeah, he's a fresh father, so we're not gonna do that to him. We're not gonna be full heels like that, man. We're gonna definitely give him a pass.
I know this is very unprofessional. My bad, man.
No, again, people look. This is StreamYard. People are used to this. They know it's the morning time. If you've watched WWT live, hey, you are at least nowhere near TK. TK has walked off to go walk her dog. Like, where are you going?
I think she did during like a watch along for two.
Yes, man. It was like, where are you going?
Yeah, man.
And then got off one time to eat. He was like, I'm gonna hop off and eat. We are live.
And we got like a few minutes left to go, man. Like,
I'm like, what are you doing?
Like literally hopping off to eat. I got breakfast right here. So if I go back and forth a little bit, I hope it's okay.
But at least you're on. I was like, I'd rather you be on. And it's not like you sitting here with no crunchy ass popcorn or something.
No.
It's like, no, have your drink, eat your food. It's good. People know what this is. We're on Zoom. If we were in studio, this would be different. I'd be like, hey, or if this was sponsored, then we'd be like, okay.
Of course. Yeah, man. We'll get there though, man.
Yeah, man, we get there. Do y'all want to see angry TK? We just want to see TK in general.
The way she be throwing shots at Sid and Jacob every now and then, man. I was like, whatever is on that side, I'm gonna stay off of it. I'm gonna be like, hey, yeah, I'll be there. I'll do it for free.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is? I was gonna talk to her about that because I know for the next at least 3 weeks, Raw and SmackDown are overseas, so I think they'll be playing like around
time changes. Yeah.
And so I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we could start a little later, like a 4:00 time or something. Mm-hmm. So then that way a few of y'all can start making it a little bit more and stuff. Because I know 3 it'd be just kind of close, like with you getting off or like Mayor having to try to breeze home and stuff like that, so he don't really get on till 4. But it's at 4, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But we do got to recognize one thing in the room. Our other tag team partner in this trio could not make it today because the honey is making the money. She got a new job, man. We won't put out all her information and stuff like that.
No, put it out. Let's put it out. No,
I can't put it out because I don't know what the job is. So that's why I don't know what the job is. She's like Tommy right now. I don't know what she's doing.
She used to work at that, that big white building.
Yeah.
Yeah. He moved to that big white building across the street.
I got transferred. Not where you work, to that big black building. Be like, honey,
it would have been great to figure out for them to finally say what he did, though. You know what I mean?
Think they said it. They said he worked for the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, that was like season 1.
Yeah,
like because he got Martin to be Santa Claus for kids.
Yeah.
Like, he was ingratiated in that. But come on, man, he ain't buying all those fly clothes off that.
Well, listen, hey, if he was running it, that'd be a different story. Or if he was like in that top echelon of like that, because hey man, them nonprofits be pulling some money.
If he's on the board or in like the main staff running the division, sure. But why would he keep that a secret, man?
I mean, hey, sometimes you don't want people knowing what's in your pockets.
From his best friends.
I mean,
he's over there every week.
Hey, listen, it be that way sometimes. It be that way. I like, listen, like, hey, y'all need to know all this shit. just let it be. Just let it be.
I'll go half on these pizzas, or I get them all. Don't worry about it. All right.
He paid extra for that small. He really did.
Hustle, man. Hustle them, man.
He like, what's up? It's hustle, man. You know what it is. Bing bop, boom, boom, bam.
That one with the chicken on the during the snow.
Pulling them out though. That was what killed me. Because I used to work at a grocery store and I had to pull them roasted chickens off them and I fucking hated it, dude. That shit was so difficult because it was hot, greasy, and you had so many chances to burn yourself. And what they do is they tell you gotta lean it like this and just push them bitches down. I'm like, what? There has to be an easier way to get these chickens off this rack.
And Hustle Man showed up with 3 of them on a stick, man. Like,
he said, "We want some of these. I got it right here."
No, that's passe. We use molasses now. Seeing Martin's face in that trying not to laugh, is the best part of that. Hustle Man's great.
Tracy Morgan was just built different, though.
He played that saxophone with the kazoo on it. Pick up the pieces.
Pick up the pieces. But man, we first of all, we want to thank each and every one of y'all for holding it down as Kayfabers. While we were gone, we've been busy for the last couple of weeks, as you can see with the tan.
Somebody came back tanning, man.
You know what I'm saying, man? I almost brought somebody back with me. But he's about to no longer be by myself. Be like, this is Maria. She don't speak much English. She know a few phrases, but we working on it. Now we all got somebody special in our lives. Now we can go on triple dates now. Because somebody. Show me a ring, baby. Show me a ring we got down there.
Oh, it's moved that quickly. Oh man.
If I was bringing her back, oh yeah, this is Mrs. Grace. That is who this is right now.
Oh man.
But man, let's start with you, bro. Like, in case folks didn't know, you are now proud papa. Little Deonne came very, very earlier than expected.
Yeah, he was about 20 days or so early. Yeah, man. But it's great. Like, he's doing great. My wife's doing great. We've been back in the house since last Thursday, so he's been here for a week now. And I took the night shift last night while I was sort of late this morning because I slept. But it's been great, man. Like, I look at his face and I see her in him. I see me and him a lot. Like a lot. There's a nose that's in my family that he has inherited. So I apologize to him for that. But
I don't apologize. No, fuck that. You be proud of your nose. Fuck that.
But no, it's been great, man. Like, I've still been going. Like, I went back to work last week just because I've started a new job in January. So I don't have that leave yet. But coming back here and then seeing him and staying up with him, and I've been peed on a few times already, just like a rite of passage. So, but yeah, man, I'm a dad, which is wild.
A father, a whole father out here.
Yeah, man. I had this idea before he came and came early, so I never did it. I was just gonna try to grow this big Apollo Creed mustache and just shave everything else off. Yeah. And
I mean, you still got time. It ain't like he gonna remember this right now.
He won't, but I wanted those first pictures just to be me with like just that big stash in the middle.
That's what Photoshop for. Just get this cleaned up and then just add that big ass Apollo Creed mustache. And then be like, we ain't gonna know. We're gonna be like, wait, he this.
I can quickly Photoshop that one, but no, man, it's been great, man. I mean, long hours, sure, but man, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Now I gotta ask because I thought about this like
baby nightmare. I like that.
Yeah. I was like, that's dope. Like, what do y'all do now when it comes to the late night? Like, does he get up like early in the morning, like at 2 a.m.? Like, do y'all have them late night calls that y'all be having to do?
Well, we have like a scheduled feeding to get him up. So like every 3-4 hours or so. So we'll wake him up, change him, feed him, probably change him again, try to put him down after that. So we have a whiteboard, like my time's on there, her time's on there when we need to. So last night I went from about midnight to 6 or 7 this morning.
Yeah.
And that's just getting him up, feeding him and stuff like that when it needs to. And then she's tagged in now. Mother-in-law's here too, so that helps out a lot as well to do everything else around the house, help out there. And yeah, we just rotate schedules, man. Like when I get off here, I think I'll help out up to 9. It just depends on what that schedule is. I'll check the whiteboard after this, but so far it's been pretty good. When I get off work, I'll take him up until like that night, and then my wife will tag in since she's on maternity leave and do the night and then stuff like that. So it's working the schedule, man. It's me and my wife do like a good plan and do like a good schedule. So we've made it work this last week, and I think we got a good system. There's one thing about it, not that, but I think I can use it for this too. For the delivery and stuff, I had like a quarterback sleeve because I was gonna put all my notes in there, all my to-do things. Didn't get to use it, man. I kind of upset about it because he came early, so everything we were just off script, man.
And I know you a stickler for your schedule, your times and stuff like that. So I know just that was like, shit. I had so much that I was like, fuck. Now I got to pivot because you want to get here early. Like,
showed up to the party early, man. But he's healthy. He's back to his birth weight after this last pediatrician appointment. So he's doing good, man. He's aware of things now, and it's only been like a week. It's only been a week.
I mean, well, shit. Look who his dad is. So of course he already taking in the world and figuring out stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, congratulations to you, bro. I definitely wanted to make sure we talk about that returning and everything.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, indeed, man. But so we don't get you off of your schedule. We're gonna try to make sure we keep this nice and tight today. And we got a couple of things to talk about in the world of wrestling. So it was it was very not hard, but it was very interesting in trying to book today's show just because Honey isn't here, because I had some great ideas, and I was like, I don't want to do that while she's not here, because of course we do know we have the John Cena heel turn. We haven't got a chance to talk about that, but I didn't want to talk about that without her. Yeah. And then we also have another episode that'll be coming out for those that don't know, where of course for myself, I was on vacation. I went out to the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, St. Martin on a nerd cruise that I also worked for as well. But I got a chance to meet the guy that does the New Day's new theme song, Mega Ran. And we got to actually throw an episode together while we were on the boat. And so we talked about Cena, talked about some other things. So we'll be probably dropping that this week as well to put out. But there was something that I did come up with, and I can't wait for the next time Honey's on, because we'll probably be adding this to a couple of episodes. But we found out that they're going to be doing the WWE draft after WrestleMania. Yeah. And so I think it's only natural that Kayfabe does its own draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Kayfabe WWE draft. Now, we got to pick our shows.
Yeah.
They done kind of already went to each other if we think about it. Honey is already SmackDown. If you haven't watched WWT's Honey Night SmackDown, she's already there, as well as myself for NXT. So you would have to be Monday Night Raw.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Okay. As long as you're fine with it.
That works for me.
And speaking of our trio's partner.
That's why I stopped talking, because I was like, oh, great.
So, Honey, to be fair, because he is a new dad, I gave him a pass. But to also be fair on that, I'm also giving you a pass because of your new job. So you only have one, though. You can't be late 3 times because of the job. Like, you got one where it's like, if I'm running behind, I'm like, okay, because she got a new job, she's adjusted to her schedule, you get a pass. But that's it. His pass is used up today. You got one. So
that's an early use of it, man. Dadgummit.
So use yours wisely, Honey. But just know we definitely miss you on this episode. Glad you are watching it right now. Because we're talking about when you get back, we will start our Kayfabe draft. You will be the GM of SmackDown. Deonne will be the GM of Raw, and I will be the GM of NXT. And I think so. I'll ask you, how many rounds should we do? And how many superstars in each round?
So how has it been done in the past? They've done it over Raw and SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm. And normally they have about 4 rounds of it, and I think they normally have like maybe 5 people per round that they pick.
Yeah, and then like a supplemental draft is like when the stuff that happens off, and you just figure out on Sunday where everybody else is going.
Where everybody else gonna go? Yeah,
yeah.
So I think we could do. What are your thoughts?
No, I think. What do you say first? Like 5 rounds?
I say about 5 rounds. 5 people apiece.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll let everyone. We'll let the chat decide who goes first in the first round of which GM. Will it be NXT, SmackDown, or will it be Raw when we do it?
That's interesting with NXT, Will. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Believe me,
I'm pulling people from there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pulling people from y'all to come to mine. So
really? Okay.
It's gonna get very, very interesting. And so I will say the one rule is depending on who goes first. That's why this will be a working draft as it's going, because you can't draft someone that someone's already picked.
No.
So let's say for instance,
we can't steal.
Yeah. So let's say, for instance, you go first and you was like, I got the People's Nightmare coming to Raw. None of us can now get Cody.
Yeah.
I gotta take Cody, but 2, while we're there, I may have had Cody in my first round. And I gotta go, oh shit, I gotta shift, I gotta pivot, I gotta find somebody else to bring in now.
Okay.
So
bringing in NFL and NBA, any trades that we could possibly make at the end of it?
Yes. So I think we should do that right after we finish the last round. So round 5, I think we should take those and then be able to trade. And so whoever we don't have, I'll make a list, and I had to think about that. Because I thought about like, oh, we'll use the rest of the superstars and we'll just start picking people. But I was like,
no, I think
on the list.
Yeah, man, because if we keep it like the shows, because all your heavy hitters leave early, right? Or get on the board early. And then some people from NXT come up. That's usually the formula they use. But
we'll do that behind the scenes. We'll do that
behind the scenes. Man. I'm here for it.
All right. Yeah. So we'll do that when Honey comes back, after she comes back from making that honey money that she's doing right now. And then shout out to her because she got to go meet some dope people as well. She got to meet Mark Henry. She got to go meet her idol, which I think she could have a better one, but that's just my opinion. But she got to meet her childhood hero, Bret Hart. And I got to say, she looked way better in the suit than he did. I was like, how does that happen? How does she rock your stuff better than you?
Yeah, that whole fit was dope, man. Like,
yeah, you should have had her in the Hart Foundation. Then maybe I would like you a little bit more, Bret Hart, instead of thinking you the executioner of midness. But not gonna knock everybody's hero. Hey, everybody got their own hero. This is more about Honey.
I would love to know her story of why. Because has she ever told the story about Bret?
She said it, but I don't think she got a chance to really fully explain it. But she was like, yo, like that's what she looked up to when she saw him, like that, like when she first got into wrestling and stuff. And I think it has something to do with her dad as well during that time. That just means she need to come back on and explain it.
Yeah.
So, when she gets back, we got a lot to talk about. So, but let's get into a little bit of trending news today. Yesterday was SmackDown, and in case y'all don't know, they were in Barcelona, and it was an impactful SmackDown from Jacob Fatu taking on Braun Strowman along with the rest of the Temu bloodline. Tiffany Stratton getting her lick back from Charlotte Flair after taking on B-Fab. But the biggest thing we saw yesterday, the Profits is up, and they are your new tag team champions.
Thank goodness, man.
I mean, did we say anything else? We talked about this Friday. If the trigger was not pulled on them getting these belts tonight, break them up.
And their whole like sort of rebrand would have been for nothing. Like these
Exactly.
vignettes that they shot that are really good
So
would
good.
have been for nothing. So just seeing those teased, you're like, they gotta win them. But then at certain times with the Street Profits, the booking, you never know. Like they're gonna run this entire tag team because DIY wasn't doing it. Let's be
No,
honest, man.
there
They
wasn't.
have not been doing it for the tag team division on SmackDown.
They were not. It was they not. Now I will give it to them. They tried. They tried. They
True.
did.
The heel turn with them too, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just the problem about it is people low key forgot they were a tag team.
DIY.
Yeah. And the reason being is because the rivalry they had between each other was so impactful that it was like, yo, like, why'd you put them together again? Because they really are the equivalent of like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish when they came up, even though we know, that was due to Vince McMahon, we would have stayed running with that.
Yep.
And given us those matches here on the main roster. Like, let that rivalry come through, but it didn't. So hopefully maybe they can start it. And get something going with the two of them, because I'd hate to see them just kind of fall into the fold and disappear. Because I do enjoy like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, but this ain't about.
Yeah, same. But you're right. Their rivalry overshadowed their time as a tag team.
Yeah.
So that made more sense. That made definitely sense. But this here happening about time, man. Like
about time.
They're always there, and here's the thing. Street Profits always put on fantastic matches. Like they were even in like multi-team matches, they are shining. Dawkins is shoulder tackling, just blowing people up on the side on the outside, and then here come Montez over the top.
Yep,
great and fun to watch. A match with them and like Motor City Machine Guns is gonna be fun. I think they needed this for a tag team division because right from these last vignettes, they showed more character than the tag teams that were being featured weekly in matches. And the fact they dripped in all black now and all gold. Dude, I was so happy. And that 5-star frog splash from Montez, like RVD has to be looking at that like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
The dude come out the camera angle is how high he dropped. It's like that is incredible.
Dude, yeah. I didn't think it could get any better than RVD. But boy.
That man be up there, bro. That's the air splash now. You can't call it a frog splash. That's just an air splash right there. And even to Aminatu's son's point, like people do sleep on Dawkins. Here's the reason why though.
Ooh, say it. I think I know what you're gonna say.
You need to change that outfit.
Thank you.
You need to get out these shorts and this little singlet thing. You gotta do so. I don't know why. Maybe you like me and insecure about your man titties, but you need to change that.
But even if the singlet, because then he go to like he dropped the shorts for a while, didn't he? When he was with the Pride?
I think at one point. You need some kind of new attire. That's it. Like I would like, and I think he dropped the shorts and had the full pants.
Yeah. So what if he did the D'Lo Brown look, man? Just the singlet, the long singlet, that would look good on him.
I wouldn't even mind the Kevin Nash look. You keep the top singlet, but give me the pants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
that shorts ain't doing it, man.
Shorts is just throwing it off, man. Look, can't everybody rock the shorts? And it's just like,
at least he's not wearing the 2 headbands anymore.
Oh my God, yo. And he finally got an edge up. I was like, thank you, bro. Can you please remember you black? Like, bro, that bothered me so much. Because I'm like, yo, you got Montez over here dripped out, edged up, and
every week.
You just looking like Kevin Garnett over here and stuff. Like, no, Kevin Durant and shit.
Ashy.
Just ashy, got a little bit of the BDBs, the mustache ain't trimmed up, and you got a whole barber in the back. Like, come on, bro.
Who's just willing and ready to go, man.
Yeah, just like, man, no, my clip is charged up. I got I ain't like, what? You ain't gonna come over here? You know, we ain't got too many of us back here for me to edge up. Like,
here's a question: who's doing Lexis King's beard and stuff, man.
Somebody from New York, he be flying in. Got to be. I don't know who over here is doing these Picasso-like edge ups on Lexus King, but they need to stop.
Here's the thing: they don't run during the matches. They don't run. They don't drip. They stay as sharp as they did when he rolled out in that throne, man.
That's why I said it got to be a dude from New York because only New Yorkers can make that work, man. But let me ask you though, with them now being the tag team champions and us seeing that they now pulled the trigger on this, do we see a resurgence now in the tag team division on SmackDown? Do we start to see, especially with it being 3 hours now, do you see it now becoming where the tag teams division starts to get more of a shine on television now with SmackDown, especially how SmackDown has been going?
Yeah, I think it has to. And putting them, they're your veteran team at this point, along like most of the Machine Guns got, years and years ahead of them. But yeah, I think that's the investment in putting that into that division now, because you have guys who have been around and who have gone through like a gimmick change, not a gimmick change, but like an attitude change through this last month or so.
Yeah. And
man, it's very reminiscent of like, oh man, I should have no notepad today.
Yo, that man is a father for real.
No, it's like a rebrand or reboot to the division, it feels like. Especially seeing how they were always on the cusp of getting it. And they know Triple H knows he has a team who can carry it now. The crowd's with them. The crowd loves them still. They get better reactions than a lot of their a lot of the tag teams who are featured. Let's put the rocket on them and let's give them the opportunity to carry this tag team division. Because Lord knows what might happen with tag team division, seeing how the Hardys are doing some stuff and didn't expect that. But no, man, I think this should be the main focus of SmackDown for a little while, because they have good tag teams there, and not being able to utilize them week to week, or I don't think it's utilized. I think it's caring. It's caring about those certain teams, and we care about the Street Profits. We're happy that they finally won since 4 years now.
10 months.
It was like years.
4 years. No, it was 4 years. They said 4 years since they ran.
So getting that, new titles, new look, new attitude, this feels like they're putting stock into it. Yeah. And I mean, it's the best move. That was the best move for business on that front when it comes to tag team titles.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I think this now gives a chance of them having a bar set for them when it comes to it. Like it's able for the tag team division, because Raw has some great tag teams, and even to the point, SmackDown has some great tag teams. But I think this is now where we get to see better rivalries with these tag team champions. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing I think DIY kind of lacked. Like they didn't have the great, like, let me, because I don't want to sound like I'm like shitting on them, but they weren't the greatest on the mic. They weren't the greatest on the mic. They were way better in-ring performers than they were like personality performers. With Profits, you have both of those extremely high. So their rivalries with others are going to be able to put it on the spotlight for us to start caring about these other tag teams, because them versus Pretty Deadly, oh, that's going to be incredible.
And let's just think, all of their matches when they were champion, even their like NXT coming up, some of the best matches on takeovers and stuff were the tag team matches.
Yeah.
And seeing who they have on SmackDown too to go up against now. And I think that's the biggest thing, like you said, let's do some rivalries that make sense. Not just a tag team match for the sake of tag team matches.
Yeah.
Let's make it a rivalry, man. Like that's what we had. We had a lot of them back in the day, but it doesn't seem like that's a prevalent thing anymore.
No, it's kind of more of just like, oh, we got a tag team. Oh, well, we're gonna give them a title shot, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like New Day and the Usos, like that was a rivalry. Like that felt like, okay, they could main event a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
which they probably should have with that Hell in a Cell match, because that was, I don't remember anything else from that card, but I remember that whole match.
I definitely right. Likewise, I remember that too. So I to your point, I feel like we'll get to see a lot more with them, but I also think too they will need some more tag teams in the division. Hopefully, we may get some more Wyatt 6 action to come in with this, but I think this is something great for this. And I told her I'm live from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Matter of fact, I'm finna answer this. Watch. Hello, Sly.
What up?
Do you not remember my text message I sent you?
I do not.
Yes. So you are being heard live right now.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hello.
I am live from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
What's happening? What's happening?
I will give you a call at 11.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
See, girls don't remember shit when they about to get their hair done.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yes, all you focused on was getting your hair done, and now your hair is done. So that's all your concern was. And I now understand it now because that's what TK do when she silk press TK. So, but we're gonna keep it pushing, man. So, like I said, we stay where we need to be. More champions coming through this week. La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. It was title versus title in Madison Square Garden at Roadblock, and we have a new NXT Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer.
I gotta ask you, Mr. NXT. I know you're throwing out questions, but did you see this coming?
I did see this coming, and I have a full thing of why I saw this coming. And I know Cindil ain't here, so she's not gonna be able to defend. But I've said it before, bro. Like Stephanie Vaquer was lightning in the bottle, and she stole that from everybody. She is the thing to see when you watch her. It's this aura she has. When you watch her in the ring, it is something about her that makes all eyes go to her. And I know some people will try to say it's because of people over sexualizing her. Like, no, it has nothing to do with that.
She walks like a star. Like whatever it is, she has it. And you could tell that from the first time you saw her like walking backstage at NXT. Yep. You're like, she hasn't even said anything. She hasn't walked out in front of a crowd. She was just walking in the back. And they showed that clip. And you're like, boy, I don't know, but it's something about her. And then you look at her in ring. She's so tight and so locked in ring that you're like, she's head and shoulders above a lot of the women in the division.
Yep.
It's it, man. She just has it.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but whatever it is, it's like
that's what they normally call it. We know that here in the wrestling thing, she has that it factor. And I'm gonna be honest with it and say Julia does not. That's why Julia is an incredible in-ring performer. Julia is not a superstar yet. She's not a superstar just yet. That's why, and I'm using that keyword yet. And to Bose's point, yes, I think she will defend both titles because this is something Stephanie Vaquer is used to doing. She's used to being a double champion. She's used to putting multiple titles on the line, or one or the other. So I think you will be able to see that. And two, to the point of we watched the history of it. Even with her getting here and Julia winning the championship and holding it for 63 days, we saw Stephanie way more. And so this was something that I had mentioned, and I still try to be careful how I say this because I know I like to joke a lot, but I don't want to offend nobody with the next thing I have. And I think the problem is that what happened with Julia is the same thing that happens with a lot of these Japanese wrestlers, is that there's a disconnect with Japanese culture and switching over to Japan for their wrestlers.
Okay.
Because a lot of us, if you're a diehard wrestling fan, you know about New Japan. But to a common fan that especially WWE is trying to push over, they may not know these folks. They may not know about New Japan. Some of the things they only know about is WWE or AEW or in most NWA.
Mm-hmm.
And then to another part, Stephanie McCurry is locked in with the Latino community, which is one of the biggest people of commerce in the WWE and the wrestling industry.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw it. Like, she steadily got articles written about her. She was steadily talked about on Hispanic news all the time. Even when from her post, she consistently posted on social media. She completely was reposting other people's stuff that posted about her. You didn't see that in Julia. And I'm not saying Julia wasn't someone that wanted to do it. I just think that's not something that they harp on overseas. That's not how they operate. It's a different machine over there.
Yeah, and I think Stephanie has figured out the machine or figured out like what she should do, because even scrolling down like your timeline on anything, if again our stuff is curated for wrestling, I would imagine a lot of it. So scrolling down it, that's the person you saw. You would think she was NXT champion if you weren't week to week.
Yeah,
you're like, who is this? Who is this person on my timeline? Like, her moves are solid. She looks like a superstar. Yeah, Julia doesn't pop up in my timeline much, or she didn't.
No.
And that's no knock on her, but I get what you're saying, like with translating over from like New Japan or whatever back to over here. Asuka did fine in NXT, but it didn't work in the main roster. Shinsuke fine in NXT because Shinsuke, right? Yeah, just making sure. Main roster, okay, but I think it's just finding a character for her to like sink her teeth into too. I think that's because that's the biggest thing with WWE, right? You can be a great wrestler in any promotion before you get there, but the biggest thing they're going to work on when they get you is your character.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sells eventually.
Yeah,
I think it was even Booker T saying like he was a great wrestler in WCW, but he learned how to be an entertainer and have a character when he made it to WWE. So I think that rings true to Julia as well. Stephanie, whoever is helping her out with whatever she was on Busted Open too recently, they're getting her out there, man. Like she's low key coming to face NXT.
Yeah.
And she has been with this title. She is now with this title. But yeah, man, there's something about her. She has it. I'm waiting. I can't wait to see her matches because they're going to be solid.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see how these two belts work with her. What happened with Keith Lee? Did he have to give one up?
Oh no, well, he gave up both of them because they moved him up the roster.
That's right.
The Bearcat.
Boy, the biggest fumble. Vince McMahon, there's a lot of things he's done. But that, especially during the pandemic era too, that could have been a fun. Keith Lee could have been fun during that era.
All of them could have. Like, he literally like took every NXT superstar that we knew and loved and completely warped them into some BS. And it was just like, I'm gonna say this cautiously. You deserve what happened to you because of that. Because you did that out of spite. And that's karma for your ass. That's why everything you did in the dark started coming to the light, because you knew you was wrong for that. You was wrong for doing that to Keith Lee. You was wrong for doing that to Pete Dunne. You was wrong for doing that to Karrion Kross, because you know how essential it is when it comes to moving these people up from NXT to the main roster. And first impressions are everything. And for you to mess that up for them, you knew you were wrong. And you only did it out of spite and out of ego. And that is wrong for you to mess with somebody's livelihood and their dream just because one day you just don't like that Triple H is doing something more popular than you. Fuck you.
That's what it turned into.
Yeah.
Those weekends where you got NXT and a pay-per-view on Sunday, everybody was asking, is Backlash going to be better than whatever NXT had on a takeover on Saturday?
And it was, and that's what he didn't like about it. Black and Gold brand was destroying the other PLEs. We were more anticipated to watch Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, AOP, the Street Profits. We were so ready to see them Saturday that on Sunday you dang near forgot. It was like, I guess I'll go watch Backlash.
Exactly. That's how it felt.
Yeah, when Takeover coming? Yeah, and it's like
Vince was wrong, man. Like Max Dupree, like that would have destroyed his career. Like there's no two-time United States champion LA Knight if Vince is still in control and you got Max Dupree.
Nope, he'd have been over there with AEW with his models right now.
he would have converted quickly back to LA to Eli Drake.
Yep.
And done indie stuff. But boy, Triple H is making up though. He's slowly making up for it where he can.
Oh yeah.
Karrion Kross, he's making up with that. Karrion Kross has more personality than he's ever had to me, ever, since he's been on the roster. And I'm hoping as time goes, Keith Lee, maybe more people come on home, and we set the ship right. We set it right. We fix the timeline essentially.
Yeah,
from what gets destroyed.
Yeah, we will. Because again, this is what also too lets you know how superstars are made. Because I didn't think Pete Dunne would ever bounce back from Butch, and he came back shining now. Like those matches with him and Penta and Ludwig, it's just again you seeing that resurgence come back a little bit more. So I think it was dope. But I think this was the right move for them to pull with. Like just to your point, like watching Stephanie, like Stephanie just has it. And that's the thing that's just so crazy about it, is that even in her in-ring performance, she don't say nothing. She really barely does any interviews and stuff like that when she's there. And if she does, she is very direct to the point. But then you see her on like the Busted Open podcast, and you're like, oh my God, this woman's a sweetheart.
It's personality, right?
Yeah, I was like, she's funny, she's intelligent, she is just like, she brings you in, and that's the only reason why I say I'm going back to Julia. And and again, I know we like to play around and make fun and stuff like that, but I feel like those are the things that hold Japan wrestlers back. And I understand because like again, it's a different style and it's a different format for them. They're not really focused on the personality wise, they're more focused on the performer, and that's what they've come to. But it's just like, okay, you still have to train them to be able to handle this and be versatile superstars. And I think that's something too that hopefully this is a wake-up call, not for just Julia, but for a majority of superstars that are on the independent circuit or that are international and want to come over to America, that it's like, hey, there's something that comes along with doing this. This is sports entertainment. And there has to be a focus on the entertainment side. And I even think too, that's where AEW sometimes lacks a little bit, because you don't focus on the entertainment side that we need. You go more to the sports side, which again, there's nothing wrong with that because y'all put on great matches, but it's like, we still need to be entertained.
Yeah, I have a question for you. I think we've probably talked about this when it came to superstars, what matters most sort of thing. How much Will Ospreay, right, is a perfect example. Great matches, right? How much do you care about like the matches compared to like the story that goes with it, the characters that are in it? Because Roman can do a headlock for like 2 minutes and talk to him while he's down there and get more over doing that than flipping over a top rope.
Yeah.
So where do you stand? Match quality, entertainment. I like the entertainment aspect more than that in-ring ability.
So for me, it varies, and this was something that Professor, again mentioned and talked about. Those are the two things that matter the most. And for me, it's depending on the wrestler. Mm-hmm. So like you said, for a Roman, I am looking more for the entertainment side. I'm not looking for him to be this technical wrestler. I'm not looking for him to be having these 1,000 holds that he can do and using that ring IQ all the way to 10. Like, I'm not looking to that. Mm-hmm. For Will Ospreay, though, I am looking for that with him, but I still want some of that entertainment side to him, because I think that's the one thing that AEW is lacking on giving him, because I believe he has the personality to be able to cut promos, to have some incredible vignettes that y'all are just not utilizing when it comes to him. I think he's a very creative person, and I think y'all have yet to unlock that side of him that makes him a even bigger superstar. Because right now, if you added that to Will Ospreay would be champion, like heavyweight champion right now. If he was here in WWE, he would be in the title picture with Cody Rhodes or Gunther going into SummerSlam right now.
For sure.
So I think it just really varies depending on the person for me.
Yeah, man. again, I love in ring. That's why we're here. Is wrestling, right? I get it, but man, I gotta feel something, man. There's something. There's got to be something there. And granted, not every match is like that, right? But when we get to the big show or the show of shows, I want my investment to be there. Of like, this is why I'm here for it. Not the. It sounds weird. Not the wrestling. I want to see the story that they tell with it.
Yeah. And then I want to see the wrestling. Like even to Sage D's point, Kurt Angle was great in the ring, and he was a big personality. And it's what made you want to get ready for the match. Now, too, and that's why I say too, it depends on the person, because again, like I hate to bring him up because I know he's kind of like Voldemort now, but Chris Benoit. I was not looking for Chris Benoit's personality.
True.
When I saw Chris Benoit, and they told me Chris Benoit's on the card, okay, I need Chris Benoit to be paired up with another person that's going to get at work, and I'm ready to see that match because of their in-ring ability. I don't need a storyline of vignettes and talking. The vignette can be them going tat for tat on the mat and who's going to be the better one, but they fit in that category. Not everybody needs to be a personality because you can have space for folks like that to be able to work.
Yeah, there's room on the roster for that stuff, right? Or there's room on the show.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Like same thing, like same thing with like Sheamus and Cesaro. Like that was another one of like when they did their best of 7. Cesaro's not great on the mic, but Cesaro's in-ring ability and the personality shows within the ring.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, I'm kind of like depending on the person, but I
get you.
But again, I am big on the entertainment side because that's what our American style is. We also want the personality. We need that. Otherwise, yeah, because if you just give me a match of, again, AEW is prime example. You give me a card full of bangers, but I'm not here to sit for 8 hours of watching them just wrestle. Like, what's our story behind this? What's the drama? Oh, we don't have none. We just putting these people together. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Because how many super kicks am I going to watch for 4 hours?
It's like hitting the exhibition mode in 2K and just hitting random.
Yeah.
And then like, hey, here we are. Here we are.
So, but congratulations to Stephanie McCurry, double champion, man. Just an incredible talent. I just hope this is an example of people to see of just like, hey, hard work and love for what you do will always pay off. And if you haven't watched her on the Busted Open podcast, please go watch her.
Really?
Learn a lot about her, and you learn a lot about the passion that she has for this place. And just it's a very humble come up for her in getting into wrestling. Like, it is a phenomenal story that she has. So I hope y'all do get a chance to go check that out. Now,
this is so good, man. I don't even care what the topic is, man. What is
it? BET recently put out a list of the 15 greatest black wrestlers ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the number one wrestler that they had on the list was, of course, Mr. 5-time himself, Mr. Harlem Heat, Mr. King Booker. Was number one on the list. And I'll stick with the top 5 on here. Number 2 was The Rock. Number 3, Kofi Kingston. 4, Mark Henry. And 5, Sasha Banks were in the top 5 of black wrestlers. So, Deonne, first of all, your thoughts on Booker T being number 1. Did they get it right, or do you see someone else that is number 1?
When I saw that, the rest of the list, and I looked at it, and I thought about Booker T at number 1. We talk about Booker, I think, weekly on here. And he's still in the public eye as well when it comes to wrestling. So is The Rock and everybody else on that list. But I thought back to like his career in WCW, all the way through his run in WWE, his gimmick change from Booker T to King Booker, and then back two-time Hall of Famer. His run has been legendary, even to the commentary table.
Yes.
And then I thought about The Rock, most popular guy in the world, apparently. More followers than any man in the world. But we're thinking wrestling too. The Rock for 7 years, from White Boots Maivia to Final Boss. Well, not Final Boss, to his Hollywood Rock. That was a hell of a run, man. Like, but I look at Booker T's longevity in wrestling. I think they got it right, man. I love The Rock. I do. What everything he's done is impactful. He's gave us moments after moments after moments. But Booker T, yeah, man, I'm okay with that list. I'm cool with that list.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm going to be the one to rip the Band-Aid off. There's a reason Rock didn't get number one.
Are we thinking the same thing? I didn't want to say it, but
I'll definitely say it. You're black, yes. But you don't be acting like you are sometimes. Let me know. You know what? Let me rephrase that. You favor your other side a lot more than you do the other. You acknowledge it, and then that's why I was like, let me rephrase how I say that. Yeah, a-hole. But you definitely favor one side of your heritage more than you do the other.
Yeah.
And we know that also comes down to, you know, the relationship he had with his father, which we know was a little bit of turmoil and stuff like that. So he spent a lot more time on the other side with his mother. So again, it is understandable. But that is the reason why you sit at number 2.
Yeah, I couldn't give it to him. Because take that aside from it too. I just think about like Booker T's and just think about his whole. He has not done anything other than be like wrestle the last 30 years or more.
Boza, the disrespect you just said in writing this. First of all, a lot of us don't just know him because of his NXT commentary, first and foremost, sir. Yeah, and especially as the historian of WWT, you got some nerve to write that, Boza. Come on now. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
I don't know what to say about that.
We ain't got no time on this podcast for us to go down that. But if you know Booker, you know why he's number 1. Now, exactly. I will agree though with Jack's Pocket that's here on the commentary. R-Truth got snubbed, and I wholeheartedly believe R-Truth should be on this top 15.
Do you have the whole list?
Yes, I have the whole list. So at number 15, we have Jazz. 14, we have Shelton Benjamin. At number 13, we have Naomi. At number 12, we have Jacqueline. 11, we have Big E. Number 10, Devon Dudley. Number 9, Bianca Belair. At number 8, Bobby Lashley. Number 7, we have Ron Simmons. 6, we have the Junkyard Dog. At 5, we have Sasha Banks. 4, Mark Henry. Kofi Kingston at number 3. Oh, Lord. Sorry. Apologies. Kofi Kingston at number 3, The Rock at number 2, and then Booker T at number 1.
Interesting. Not mad at 1. I understand 2. Ron Simmons at 7. Historically, I think just for the historical impact, I think he should have been moved up. Sasha shouldn't have been top 5, unfortunately.
So here's the thing. Because of her accomplishments, I'm not mad at her being at 5.
Oh, man.
I'm not mad at her being at 5. She has done a lot. You got to remember, too, as far as that and a women's standpoint, I agree with that. I'm with Sage D on this one. Shelton Benjamin could definitely go, and R-Truth be right there.
Yeah, R-Truth, even I know we know him as a comedic guy now, his work in NWA was, well, not NWA, TNA, NWA, yeah.
Oh, no, both. No, NWA champion. He was in TNA. And this dude has been in the game for over 30 years. Like, he deserves to make this list. And again, no disrespect to Shelton Benjamin.
None at all. Yeah.
But if I had to make this list, I would definitely exchange Shelton Benjamin for R-Truth.
Truth is on it. Yeah. And what Boza said, I probably would have flipped Ron and Sasha just because like historical impact was there. First black heavyweight champion, man. Like that's huge.
I'll give you that. But the accolades that Sasha also got makes a lot. First black woman to headline WrestleMania. First Hell in a Cell match. First Iron Woman Survivors match. Like, she's had a lot of records that she's broken.
True.
And again, I know how big Ron Simmons is.
Stands on the shoulders of Ron Simmons, though.
This is true. Ron walked so she could run. But now this is also too where you kind of have that Jordan LeBron thing. Do you finally let the student surpass the master, or do you always keep putting the master in the
master above the student? You're right.
And I think Ron's a legend. I'm not denying that. That's why I'm like, I like the place that he's at. And no. And honestly, I would switch him with Junkyard Dog. Like, I don't think Junkyard Dog should go before Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons, one line that's Farouk to Ahmed Johnson was make me move it. He told Ahmed Johnson when he kicked him out of the nation again. Well, when they took him in and he kicked him out, he's like, "You want to be pretty like Shawn Michaels, man? You couldn't be white if they sandblast your black ass."
I forgot he said that shit.
So that line.
Oh shit. This is why he definitely need to be above the Junkyard Dog. Like, again, I get Junkyard Dog is iconic, but come on, man. Ron Simmons.
For the fact that I rewatched all of Raw, like the early Raws, he should have been world champion in as Farouk, because he was always in a title match against like Taker and stuff. But that line alone, Will.
That's why I can't put him over Sasha, though, bro. Sasha, a multi-time women's champion, bro. She's a part of the women's revolution. Like, those are a lot of pillars. Because, again, too, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a pillar for having Ron Simmons become the first, like, black world heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to say, to be a black woman that's a part of changing all of women's wrestling.
You're good. Yeah.
And you're one of the founding pillars of that. And you Snoop Dogg's cousin. Like, come on, man. Like, okay. That's just me, though.
I will say 1 through like 8 or so are solid picks. I like it's everything after that it gets murky. But Booker T being number 1, man, I completely understand it, man. Like I get it. We talk about him weekly on here.
Mm-hmm.
He's still relevant in the world of wrestling, even if you just bring up his commentary.
Oh yeah,
I was so disappointed when I played as Trick Williams on 2K and he wasn't doing the ad libs.
Man, I
quickly pressed skip and picked another match.
Yeah. Y'all gotta update that 2K. Y'all definitely gotta update that. If I don't hear that, I'm never having Trick Williams in a match.
I don't even want him rest. I don't even want to play with him.
I will have them like let the computer pick the winner on that match, because I refuse to not have my. Oh yeah, man. I like it. Like, if we ain't getting that.
Let's consider. I know we talked about his in-ring, but just the things he's given back to wrestling too. His wrestling school has sort of helped lead the next generation of wrestlers in the world of wrestling. The Usos, your girl Roxanne, like he has his thumbprint and fingerprints on a lot of young talent who's come through his school, or he's mentored or taught. He's given back to the world of wrestling, and that's completely understandable. He's on
and I'm definitely biased because he's done the same for me. Because again, he would send folks to his school to come down to our company to practice their in-ring stuff. And so I got to wrestle folks from his school. So it's just like, yo, and then like some of these cats are still going today. So it's like, yo, man, this dude is. I have no problem with him being number 1 on this list. And I know there were a few that they got, like even Amanatu in the comments, of like D'Lo Brown, The Godfather. They were great. Don't get me wrong, but they not made. If this was a 20, then we start throwing them in like 17, 18 and stuff, and we can have a discussion. But those don't make 15. You know?
Oh, okay. Let's keep going, because I'm squeaking Godfather in there somehow, but at least D'Lo's chest protector gets an honorable mention.
It's not honorable mention. I don't know nobody I would exchange in this list for Godfather.
Really?
If we exchanged anybody, we were already saying Shelton Benjamin for R-Truth.
R-Truth, yeah.
R-Truth in there. It's like, okay, who you exchanging for the Godfather out of this? Because are you going to exchange Big E for Godfather?
Nah.
See? You can't exchange Jacqueline.
No.
Devon, you definitely can't do that. Devon Dudley is just, come on, man, Mr. Testify. That man part of the greatest tag team in history.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley, no. Farouk. Then you start getting into, again, the heavy hitters now. Bianca Belair.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. So, again, if this was top 20, he'd definitely be scaling that list of 20 or maybe 19 and stuff.
He's in it, yeah.
Yeah. And even Viscera. Like, but again, we doing 15. So, but shout out to Booker T, man. Like we said, we here on the Kayfabe Podcast both agree he is the number one black wrestler of all time. Thank you for everything that you have contributed to the wrestling business, and as you continue to do it, man, there's a reason why you deserve to be a 2-time Hall of Famer and more, man. Thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Did you hear he's trying to get King Booker into the Hall of Fame?
I'm not mad at it, though. I'm not mad at it.
So he can have 3 rings.
I'll take it. I will take it. Okay. And if we doing it, hey, give him Hall of Fame for commentary. Let's figure out how to way to do 5 rings.
Boy, oh my God.
Let's do it. Can the Spinner Rooney be put in the Hall of Fame? Can we do the Spinner Rooney as a Hall of Fame thing?
Oh well, that would be so good if he could end up with 5, so he could continue to do that with 5.
That's all I want, man. That is all I want. All right, so our final trending story. Again, we know about the John Cena heel turn. We are choosing to not talk about it until Honey returns, so we can have a full trios discussion about it. But we have been hearing that they have been shopping some names around when it comes to this partnership between the Final Boss and the new John Cena. And the name that has been being thrown around is an interesting one. And I would definitely like to get your opinion on it, Deonne. The name that's been thrown around is the Rock and Soul Connection.
Who's throwing that around?
WWE Creative is throwing it around.
Okay, this is still people who gave Chili McFrost to Stone Cold. So I'm not taking it. I'm not. Yes, it's how ideas and brainstorming works, right? We start out somewhere, Rock and Sock Connection. That's the thing. What can we call it differently? What can we do and build from there? I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it'll stick. I don't think they'll use this. I don't think it sounds good for the kind of team that they put together right now. 2 of the biggest names in the world of wrestling and in entertainment at this point are now both heels in a company where, like, I even heard like the name they're throwing now is like Break-A-Wish. I think they trademarked that or tried to at least. So I don't know. They're gonna have to be very careful because this name, not saying a lot of things right on a name, but it can make or break this duo that we're putting together, or team or faction that we're putting together for this year. Yeah, Rock and Soul sounds made up. It just sounds like, hey, this is where we're starting the brainstorming session. We'll figure it out as we go. Oh, wait a minute. Was this Uncle Dave reporting?
No. This is multiple. This is
okay. Because I was gonna say, like, nah. But I don't think it's a name that resonates with enough of like what's going on in this day and age too. It just doesn't seem like it fits.
No, the Rock. First of all of it has to do with the Rock. So
yeah, is Cena the soul of the group? Like, or does he have his soul?
Well, no. For what they said, it was to honor his dad, and they were saying that's what they were shopping around. The soul part was like to honor his father and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but like this has nothing to do with this current story.
No.
So I don't get why they're doing that. Now, no problem, Boza, because we know he was one of the first. Dave was one of the first ones to put it out, but like a majority of like news, like wrestling articles have been writing about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I'm not feeling that shop around. I think bring that back into the huddle. Find y'all some more mock-ups for names because that one just ain't it. Especially for how iconic this thing is. So I don't mind Hollywood hustle, but if I'm being honest, I would try to stay completely away from anything Hollywood because it's already being compared to the Hogan turn, and you need to want to try to create it to be as unique as possible.
True.
So even if you went back to calling it the Federation, and so just to kind of a F you to them people that made us change the name. Like, you could do something like that. But I think like if you are about to do some kind of connection and that requires it to have a name, it needs to be something that stands out that we are going to remember, because we are, like, as much as we don't like Hulk Hogan, we love Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Like we said, we've separated those two. We're like, no, Hollywood would never say anything like that.
That's so wild, man. Because like
Hollywood,
his evil persona is the one that we're okay with.
Yeah,
when it comes to his characters, right? We're okay with that. I mean, this man walked out with Rodman to Voodoo Child in Chicago while Rodman was still in the finals, man. Like, so
he can come to the barbecue. You tell Terry to stay his ass home because he might get jumped. So y'all let us know in the comments of this video on YouTube, whether you're at WWT or you're on my page. Let us know, what name do you think would work best for this partnership between the Final Boss and this new John Cena. And I got to say, there was an image I found. I'm gonna probably also again pull it up on the episode when we do talk about Cena. But because Cena now, the bald spot gone.
Okay, I saw that picture. Is it true?
Yeah, no. It's a video. There's a video where you see it. Like, where
really?
He's in, I think, Hungary. And they were filming. And like, you see John Cena walk past, and he had like a black like leather jacket on. He was dressed in
I saw the back of the picture. Yeah, well, yeah. I saw the back.
All that shit is fixed. Yeah. But like, I saw that, and then somebody said something about if he could grow a beard. And so they did, like, again, an AI image. I just got to show, like, bro.
He looks Romanish.
Right? But I was like, I'm not mad at it. I was like, imagine this be heel Cena going from shorts to jean pants.
Full jeans?
Full jeans?
Man, I can't wait to get Honey back on here so we can talk about this, because I got a lot of questions that I've been just throwing around randomly to my wife.
I do too. That's why I say we're gonna probably have a full episode about that. But we need the trio to
we do. Oh, like gear, music, what happens to Cena? Because is he gonna be on Raw Monday?
Yes, he will be. He is in Berlin, and he will be addressing Cody Rhodes, but both of them will be in the same ring. So hopefully Honey is being able to be scheduled to jump on Saturday, because we're gonna have so much to talk about.
What if Stu, he looks at Stu and Stu just turns the camera, like the camera just turns away from him. You know what I mean? That will hurt.
Or push it out the way, like,
yeah. And there's no run, there's no
or he does the towel like this,
or puts it over the camera, or like,
ooh, see,
like, yeah. I don't know, man. You
don't deserve to see me. Ooh, so much, man.
I'm still not ready for it, man. I'll be honest with you.
I'm ready. Serve me my dinner. All right.
I'm not, man.
I'm so ready. Because we talked about, they was like, what do you think he'll say? Will he just not say anything? Because we know them boos gonna be crazy. Them boos
will they though? Because people been waiting 20 years for this to happen.
That's why I want him to say, if they boo, I just want him to say one line. I thought this was what you wanted, and then walk off. See, bro, we about to be in for a ride this year, man. Wait. But we're going to move into our next segment, and it's a new one. It's a new one for us, and it is called The Ring of Redemption. So the Ring of Redemption, what we're doing is we are taking different things. And most of this is either from wrestlers, gimmicks, or storylines, but we're taking the ones that failed. So like failed wrestlers, failed gimmicks, failed storylines, and we're giving them a second chance by reimagining how it could have been successful with a better execution. So that's our Ring of Redemption. And for this one, I decided for us to choose a storyline. And since we did talk about Booker T, he is also heavily involved in this one. And that is the WWF WCW invasion. So just to give you a quick catch up, this is around the time when Vince McMahon bought WCW. This is around 2001. This storyline of Invasion lasted from, I believe, March to November of 2001, and it ended in a pay-per-view, of course, called Invasion. It had to do with WCW, ECW as a combination, where you had Stephanie McMahon, Paul Heyman, and Shane McMahon at the helm for WCW, and Vince McMahon still riding the ship of WWE, along with some of his go-to superstars. So, and okay, before we get into this, because I do need to address this. John Cena has never been heel. So just to give y'all that, Thugonomics was not a heel role. He was an anti-hero. John Cena has never been heel. I do want to make sure that is very clear.
You sure?
Yes, he was classified as an anti-hero.
So even like his rivalry with Undertaker.
Undertaker was a heel at that time. Remember, that was the badass era. Yeah, remember American Badass, he was a heel.
I just remember him seeing that in the cemetery rapping.
Cena was just annoying. That was what it was.
In your yard.
Yeah, no, Cena was just annoying. He was still a face.
I'll make you my. No, man, that was heel. I gotta go back and watch that. Will.
Oh, watch it. I'm telling you. You start watching him, bro. Like it's just him talking shit. That's it. He's not a heel though. It's just him talking shit because that's the character persona. It's not a heel move. It's close to face and anti-hero.
Didn't he use the chain a few times to win matches though?
No. You
sure?
No, the only time he'd use them is during those matches where it was allowed to be able to be done.
We're gonna have to do a retrospective on this.
Telling you, go back, because I thought the same thing when I first heard it, and I was like, "Yo, oh shit, he never really was a heel. He never was a heel." I was like, "Damn," because there's a Reddit thread that I watched, and I read, and they broke all of that down to show you, like, no, it wasn't a heel run for him. Because even think about it, when he won the title, he was still Thugonomics before he went full Cena. JBL was the heel in that situation.
Who did he win the U.S. title off of?
Ooh, I think the same dude that was with JBL. What it was like, Orlando?
Orlando Jordan.
I think that's when he beat him.
Well, he might be.
And again, JBL was a heel. Okay. I'm saying, look, Chain Gang Soldier. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, y'all go back. Like, John Cena was a face. He was just annoying with the rapping at first.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna have to go back and look through that.
I'm telling you, you watch and you see who his opponents were, and you're like, oh shit, he really did go up against mostly heels.
If you bringing it up, yeah, that's all he went up against. Because I remember, I guess Taker was his big evil at the time.
It was Big Evil, because remember that was around that time too, where Jeff Hardy had that match with Undertaker.
Climb the ladder, kid.
Climb the ladder, fulfill your dreams.
Make yourself
famous. Son of a bitch. Undertaker.
Make yourself famous.
Make yourself famous. But yeah, so we're talking about the WCW Invasion. Now, it only lasted from March to November. And what could have been so let me ask you first. Do you consider this a failed storyline?
Yeah, because you look at that. I was like, this is a right to the cup layup. Like, that was an easy one, man. Because look at the Invasion match. Yeah. It's all WWE guys. Yeah. Like, they made Austin heel so he turned and went WCW, but he was there as Stunning Steve. You still ended up with a WWE match.
Yeah.
The bad thing about it was that the Invasion was it was fumbled from the beginning based on the contracts that were still running. So you didn't have Hogan, you didn't have Nash, you didn't have Scott Hall, Goldberg. You didn't have those pillars of WCW. Yeah. Booker T took the opportunity, and look where he is now. As a Hall of Famer. It worked for him. But Jericho had been long gone by then, and it was a failed.
Now Jericho was there.
No, I'm saying like from his WCW.
Oh, yeah, got you, yeah.
He'd been there for a while up to this point. It felt like he felt like a WWE guy at this point.
Yeah.
I always look back and say, I feel like they should have waited. and executed it when everybody could have been under contract. Because you look at like when NWO showed up, NWO showed up, and then a year later Goldberg showed up, and then Scott Steiner showed up. Granted, it wouldn't have been like as immediate as we had wanted, but Booker T was the only person who survived this invasion angle from being
what benefited from it the most.
True, but even like looking on longevity, he survived this. Like he's the only one. Look at everybody who came in with him. They had short careers in WWE during the time of that invasion.
Yeah,
it would have been great if they could have just let it work. If I was Kevin Nash and those boys, I would have got my money too. So I'm not gonna take a cut and then go back to WWE and all that. So I get it, but man, our ideas of what this should have been blockbuster. This should have been Rock, Austin, Undertaker, Kane, all the big names, Hogan, Goldberg, Booker T, like DDP. Like you didn't have those pillars WCW, so we didn't care. And then you look how the invasion angle went. The last match had all WWE guys, and WWE still won, right?
Yeah.
Like
4 of them, yeah,
exactly. So it was unfortunate. It didn't fulfill like our thoughts of what, as fans, of what we thought an invasion angle between WCW and WWE should have been. But those contracts hurt a lot, and the more stayed at home, got their money, and then they came when it was right for them. But yeah, it did not pan out, man. Unfortunately.
No, and I think, and so like I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it could have been portrayed so much better. I think it was a rush in egos because it wasn't even about the invasion itself. It more became about the McMahons, and that's where I think you lost a lot of the luster because of the fact it's like you're trying to involve them way too much. Like you had Shane up there way too much on TV. You had Stephanie there controlling it way too much on TV. Then you had when Stone Cold switched and went over there. And then he became like this shell of himself where it was like he was this funny guy, but it was like it just didn't blend well because if anything, who should have crossed over, if you're going to have anyone betray, it should have been Jericho.
If anybody, because it was a little recent. It was more recent than Steve, obviously.
Yeah. But to your point, it's like this is where he got his chops from. Why wouldn't he go home? Mm-hmm. And so the biggest way I would have started this up, so let's try to build like, this is where we'll get into like trying to redeem this storyline. And just go with me if you agree or if you disagree. And excuse the noise in the background. Y'all know I live in Gotham. So one thing I would have done, I would have not shut down WCW after it was bought. I would have kept the promotion running.
This would give you time.
Yeah, it could have moved from TBS. You could have put it on Wednesdays on, I think at the time they were on Spike maybe or TNN. I can't remember exactly where they were. I know SmackDown was on UPN. Yeah. They were on TNN. They were on TNN, which is now Spike TV. You could have had that go to Wednesday. So that way you got Raw, you got WCW, ECW, and you got SmackDown. Now you got a week's worth of programming, but this allows you to keep all of those contracts in hand at this time. So they're sitting there, they're there, and now you have WWE Creative behind it, being able to get this stuff in shape. So now, as we get all these contracts settled and people are still being able to perform, and again, you didn't have to keep everybody on the WCW roster. So let's start there.
No, everybody who came over were inexpensive in comparison to the big money contracts who they waited for. But man, I like the idea. I don't know how forward thinking they would have been back then with that, Will, for WWE during the week. They should have. Now, since you said it.
Yeah, honestly though, it could have been just for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I don't think you need to go for a full set, but at least to where it's like, people that are still wanting to stay with the company can be able to work, be able to do their thing, and then that way it gets to be able to build what it needs to do. And then you could have had WCW and ECW back to back on Wednesday.
Would WWE I'm sorry, my bad.
No, what do you next?
Would WWE have to like honor those contracts still?
Not necessarily, but if it's me, like I said, doing a redemption story, I would have the people that I know would have came over. I would have gave them the contracts that they have at the price. And for some of these big names, I would have negotiated because at this point now, it's like, okay, I'm not finna screw you over, but yeah, I'm not finna be paying you $1 million a week to be here. So, and now you don't really have nowhere to go. So let's find a middle ground that works for everybody. And now we're going to be changing directive. It's not going to be everything NWO. Hogan is not going to be here on his bullshit to where it's like, yo, we're going to do just the one pinky finger of death.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, well, you could take a hike. But again, too, I don't necessarily think they would have if you'd have kept WCW going at this time. So now, as we getting all of that settled, we can have Shane McMahon as the owner. But then let's use that Bischoff angle where the two of them have to work together. And then now we also have this part where, okay, Stephanie McMahon is trying to also work with Vince and doing some stuff, kind of not even like on some jealousy stuff, but just like, yo, I want something to try to run too. And then this is where we get Paul Heyman to come in, does a talk with Stephanie, and now she has ECW. So now you have a McMahon on each brand now, which also feeds to McMahon's ego. Now, two of your biggest competitors in the wrestling industry you now own, and a McMahon is at the helm of each one of them. Now, let this run a little bit. Then you start to plan the invasion. Because we'll start. Go ahead.
No, you're right. This makes more sense because we knew. Was it really an invasion if your company gets bought out and it's no more?
Yeah.
Like after that, you're unemployed essentially.
You now work for the person that you've been fighting for the last.
Yeah, there's no banner of WCW to carry anymore because it doesn't exist anymore. It's been bought.
Yeah, but what now makes it work when it's bought is, let's say now the ratings are doing better than your flagships. So let's say WCW is now putting out a better product. ECW is putting out a better product than SmackDown and Raw. Then this is now too where you bring in the draft. And the draft is what sparks the invasion. Because now Vince gets a little bit of his ego in to where he's not being fair to WCW and ECW. And one of the biggest things it is Vince tries to take Booker from WCW as World Heavyweight Champion. And now this is where it goes. I'm going to have both belts on my Raw and SmackDown. WWE is going to championship is going to go to SmackDown. I'm going to have the World Heavyweight Championship here on Raw. And they don't like that. This is how your invasion sparks off.
Okay.
So now we're cooking with it a little bit. And then this is where you start again. Now you have your split in brands. And so you start to now see some of these other folks start showing up. Because what Invasion did was Invasion is what led us to making Survivor Series more important. Instead of just pairing people up and then having it And so this is what made that more important. Because what could have happened was now that you have these established, let's have this invasion where it's like, yo, y'all want to sit here and come and take our stuff? You want to drop us down to an hour? Okay, now it's time for us to start wreaking havoc. I'm going to make WCW go fuck up Raw. I'm going to make ECW go fuck up SmackDown. And then now these people are going to start coming in. What's your thought?
It could be like NXT when they were part of, was it Survivor Series?
Yep.
Like how they rolled in there.
See,
that's the thing, man. Like, love what you're saying. The biggest thing is like they just didn't give it time.
They did.
It was rushed. It was like WCW's over. I ended it. It's over. It will never air again. That's a man with an ego who has been going up against a company for years, who was beating them for 83 weeks, almost put him out of business. He put them out of business. Understandable to a degree.
Yep.
But if you do like a slow burn with this, where it's like a build up to, like you have these little inklings every week or something, or every month, or like somebody WCW, like somebody got attacked in the back. Like you sprinkle little things in there till you get to like what you said, the draft.
Yep.
And there has to be that inciting incident. And that could be it right there. And then by that time, your big contract guys, again, even if you gave it that much time, they're up for a new contract.
Yep.
Here comes NWO. here comes Goldberg. Here comes, damn man, it's like playing with your toys on a Saturday morning. Like that's what it should have been like, but it was nowhere close to it.
And then this is how it wasn't, and this is how you cap it off. So with all of this now happening, it goes, okay, we're going to do an entirely new pay-per-view for this Invasion. This is how this is going to go down. We're going to have all of our champions fight against each other, and we're going to have 2 big-time matches. A Survivor Series and a War Games match.
Boy,
and this is for the companies. Whoever loses, their company will get shut down. And then this is where you can now close WCW and ECW and bring all of these people onto Raw and SmackDown. So now you don't have to worry about pouring so much more money in. You fix contracts. And so now all of that shifts over because that's when we had the Rock's return. Rock can beat Booker T, become World Heavyweight Champion. Now that goes to Raw. WWE Champion wins. It keeps his belt and now goes over here. And now we have the U.S. title in the picture. We have the Intercontinental. Now it starts to blend them in better rather than just dumping these cats here.
You're right. Because that's exactly what happened to you. Look at like the Sean O'Hares and the
Chuck Palombos.
Yeah, all of those people who came over, they were young, they were ready for it, but they just didn't hit, man. And it was because they were just dropped in. Like you're a WCW guy here on WWE, here on Raw, here on SmackDown. Like
because you didn't invade the way it needs to. Because like, where was your tag team division in this invasion? Like, I'd have loved to see some of the tag teams from WCW and ECW going up against WWE. Like, Edge and Christian is right there for the taking.
It is definitely in hindsight, but even like now, we're thinking about like all the tools that they've used today, that we could use back then as well. You talked about the draft. The draft was years away after this, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe a few years. I'm not for sure. But
it's like about a few years. Yeah. This is when we started going a little bit out of the ruthless aggression era, and we started kind of going into that. That's when John Laurinaitis started to started showing his face a little bit.
Yeah. So with that, it's like it was a timing thing, Will. Like it was right before WrestleMania 2. So he wanted to make sure, like, I guess there was some reason to have it to buy him out and do whatever right before WrestleMania, but it just felt rushed. Yeah, this gives it time to breathe. This gives it time to get established. Because if you're a WWE casual fan, you might have channel flipped on Monday night, but you don't know these new cats who are over there, who are gonna probably be week to week more than like Hogan, Goldberg, or whoever when they do eventually show up. I just think. Yeah, man, it was fumbled from the start, Will. But this is a great idea to redeem this because you look at, like I said, look at the last match. It's a WWE match.
It is, and I think if you'd have worked it the way I just laid it out, you would have showcased WCW and ECW the way it needed to be. And again, if you want to have some people switch up and go, like we said, like a Chris Jericho or something like that, that's fine. But you at least now show the pillars of who the pillars of SmackDown are, who the pillars of Raw are, and who the folks that were for ECW and WCW, and then who to look for when they move in. But this would have also set it up in every single division. Because, again, you got your main stars here, but you could have had a chance to showcase all of the tag team, all of the mid-card people. And even so, even though, again, it wasn't as big as it is now, this would have been a great case to showcase these women.
For sure.
That switched over. This would have been a great time to see like managers being able to purchase, like not purchase, but like link up with folks like a Terry Runnels going like, hey, I'm going to be RVD's manager now.
Mm-hmm.
This would have gave that time. But I think their biggest mistake was you shut WCW down too fast.
No,
and you kept it instead of going, oh, I beat them, so I want to close it. It's like, no, you got the rights. Keep it running. Especially like, again, even in the real history, you brought ECW back and gave them a show. It's like, why would you not keep – you could have called it Wednesday Night Nitro.
But see, that's the thing. They always say like that Nitro why it didn't continue, or not WCW didn't continue, was that Buff Bagwell and Booker T match, which I don't think was a really bad match. It was definitely a WCW style match in a WWE ring, but they want to blame something on it. There was something to blame. They needed something to be able to say, like, hey, we shut the book on WCW.
Yeah, but again, you could have redone the book and done something better, because it could have been like, hey, we're putting Shane McMahon at the helm, and again, if Eric Bischoff didn't want to stay, that's fine. But now you have WWE creative behind you,
which is what WCW always needed or could have benefited from.
Everything you just said, all of those. New Jack, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash.
Hey, Scott Norton was really good. Scott Norton was a big man,
and the ones they really dropped the ball. All the fucking luchadors, all the fact none of the luchadors were in there, man. Psychosis, man, all of them, bro. Juventud Guerrero. The fact that none of them were highlighted, that's who should have also been in there.
They later brought them back and put them on mowers.
Yeah.
No.
Just
the Mexicools, was that it?
Yeah.
Boy. The greatest luchadors of our era. Juventud, the juice. And Psychosis with that leg drop.
Bro.
Like,
and the fact that they were not highlighted. And you got Rey Mysterio there. You got Eddie Guerrero. You even got Dean Malenko there. The fact that we didn't have these, and again, we talked about it, like these, like where we know they're executioners in wrestling. The fact that we did not have that during the Invasion era, it was like, yo, there were dream matches there that y'all did not give us because you focused on nothing but WWE stars and the egos of the McMahons.
Yeah,
and that's where I think y'all messed it up.
That's where it doomed. And I will say to Sage, the RoboCop saving Sting was a phenomenal moment.
So we're going to move on to our final segment.
I love RoboCop. I love RoboCop. I love Sting. Put them together. Hey,
got Robo Sting. That's what you want, huh? That's what you want. You want RoboCop to take his mask off and then have another helmet on? That's what you're saying. Okay. We know what you want now.
Hey, side note: if you haven't played that RoboCop game, Will, that was
fire. No, I played the demo. That shit's fire.
I'm about to replay it again. They got an expansion pack coming out now.
Okay, thank God. I was just gonna ask you. I was like, y'all need to. If you haven't played the new RoboCop game, believe me when I tell you, it will redeem everything that you think bad about RoboCop from these reboots or whatever. Like,
because 1 and 2 are great. 1 and 2 RoboCop were great, but this game puts you right in the middle, right after the second one, movie. And dude, the expansion pack is like the raid. So they're gonna put you in this building and you're gonna have to go up. It's like $10. I don't know if it's on sale yet, but I'm getting it.
I'm about to get that. No, it is a phenomenal game. I played the demo part. I think I am gonna buy it though. Because I was always a fan of the comics, so.
You feel like a tank, man.
Bro, and it gives you the comic book feel of it, man. So, but we're gonna get into our final segment, and I believe it is. Okay. So we're doing a fantasy booking. Now we're huge fans of comic books and everything, and so one thing that I wanted to do that we haven't talked about, and I just thought it was cool, and again, that's why this was kind of difficult making today's episode, because I know this is also something Honey would have loved to have been a part of. But what we decided to do for fantasy booking was we decided to pick 3 comic book characters that we think would make great wrestlers in the modern day era. And we said, what we said was, what company would they be in? And what would be their finisher for their wrestling persona? Now, I'm curious to what Deonne has, because he doesn't have his notes today. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So if you like, I can go first.
Please do. I'm trying to find my notes. They're kind of scattered on my phone from last night. Hold on. Yeah, go first.
Oh, yeah. King Rome already said, let me slide in on this convo. Hey, man, drop it in the comments. We also want y'all to participate. Who y'all think, what comic book character would you love to see make a great wrestler in the modern era today? My first one that I had was Cyclops. I think Cyclops would be a great grappler. I think he would have some dope submissions. And my finisher for him would be the Beam of Doom.
Oh.
Clicks it on, that shit knock you right the fuck out.
I was gonna say, you're just killing people at this point.
Well, it's concussion, so that's why it's like, yo, it's your boom, and you out. 1, 2, 3. And for Cyclops, I was going to put him. I know very random, but not very random. Y'all definitely already see where this is going. He straight WWE.
Oh yeah, for sure.
SmackDown. Put him against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cyclops versus Cody Rhodes.
I can't fault that, man. Cyclops has been on a redemption tour since X-Men '97, rightfully so.
Rightfully.
He's got
Hands is back, bro. He is definitely back.
Yeah, he's got some finish. He got some. I think mine is. Are you done? Oh, I mean,
no. I was talking. We just go 1 for 1 since we got 3. We just go back and forth.
So obviously, this was the obvious one for me. Putting Spider-Man in there. This man cut his teeth in the wrestling ring, man.
Got 3 minutes.
I think from a it's hard for me not to pick Penta as an opponent for Spider-Man.
Oh shit!
You want to talk about I'm still thinking about like a finishing move because he's in WWE for sure. He's in WWE for sure. Especially with their growing high flyers. You got Axiom. Well, yeah, Axiom. I was probably about to call him Fraxium, but you got him and Nathan Frazier. You got Phoenix coming in.
Yep.
And they're masked. It works perfectly, man. Way better. I don't know. Side mission. You ever saw that old clip of like they WWE used like a Spider-Man gimmick for like an enhancement match? What was the name of Man Spider or something like that? It was
the Man Spider.
Yes. So now they actually have a Spider-Man in it. But no, that would be my first one. And I would want to pick one of his moves from the video game because like his finishing moves from video game are like complete finishers. He's up in the air. Yeah,
don't forget too, he can take on them big guys.
Oh, of course. I think I'm thinking about like the theatrics of everything.
Yeah.
But yes. Like sort of like a web blaster, like a web missile drop kick where he jumps up in there, web on each side, just comes down like a torpedo.
Ooh, yeah, that's it.
Right to the face. We're out of here, man. But Spider-Man would make a great wrestler, man. Come on.
Well, I wouldn't wrestle Spider-Man no more after that. Once you see them webs hit your shoulders,
you're done, man.
1, 2, 3, it's over. All right, we got
Nightwing would be a death.
It says Nightwing AEW, an inverted 450 senton off the top rope. Ooh, I can see that with him. I could definitely see that. King Rome, Venom / Task Mission symbiote takeover finish. Initial victims are the new stablemates versus Jacob Fatu. First of all, Venom versus Jacob Fatu. I know it's going to sound weird. I don't know why. I think Jacob's still going to win. I still think Jacob is going to win. I think Jacob is going to beat Venom.
The power of Venom versus the Samoan werewolf.
I think Jacob's still walking out.
Well, that says a lot of what we think about Jacob, man.
All gas, no brakes, bro. All gas, no brakes. He will rip that symbiote suit off Eddie Brock real quick.
Oh, he sure would rip him out of that, wouldn't he?
Yep. Amanatu Sun says Storm. Finisher will be called the Shocker versus Nia Jax. Okay.
Storm would be, man.
I'd be scared to be in there with Storm because I feel like she gonna get a little pissed and some electricity gonna hit and I'm be like,
those eyes turn white.
Right.
You're like, hey, I didn't. You're like Eddie Guerrero on your knees, like, hey.
Yeah. Now you know what'd be dope for her? Like if she can pick you up, have a gust of wind hit, and you drop down into a Samoan drop. That'd be a hard ass finish.
Because she would have to use her powers in some form or fashion.
In some form. And I think wind wise is where her best thing to go. Or like even too, like having like wind like circle around her fists and then the knockout punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my second one is going to be Ben Grimm. And I want his finisher to be, of course, a tsunami off the top rope.
Boy,
And I want him to jump. I want him to like hold the ropes and jump up into the tsunami. And I'm putting him in New Japan because I feel like Japan would love the thing.
Yes, he would. I can
He
see
would be glorified over there.
the billboard. It'd be like Planet Hulk almost for him over there. Man.
Yes, it would, bro. You know how many toys and comics and animes they'd make off of him, bro? That dude would be champ forever.
Oh, that's a good one.
Appreciate that.
That's a good one. My second one in the realm of like, I guess, big backs, Kingpin. I got him over at AEW. As his finisher is a torture rack. I love the torture rack.
Oh my god, yo, yes. Oh, that's perfect.
He's got the back for it.
That's perfect.
That would Kingpin, just the persona alone screams wrestling, like screams wrestler, you know, because we've seen a lot of bosses, we've seen a lot of like people who run the company or people who think they do, wrestlers who think they do. He fits right in.
Still in the suit. Like just take the jacket off. That's it. And roll them sleeves up.
Essentially, would I make him look like Michael Clark Duncan at the end? Just tanking and slacks.
Hey, I'm not mad at it.
I do that. He's like D-Mod from Def Jam 5 in New York.
We're not mad at that because we fucked with D-Mob. All right? I thought D-Mob was an exceptional villain.
I do too, but he was like a hero in the second one, it felt like.
Yeah, a little bit, boy, because Snoop Dogg was not to be trifled with.
God, what was Snoop Dogg's name in that?
I forgot.
Shit. I can't. Hold on. What was his name?
It was something too.
Oh, good grief. I should remember this.
Crow.
That was it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's just what the fuck he looked like too.
Hey, he wrestled in a tank top and slacks at me.
Yeah. With suspenders.
With suspenders, yeah.
I was like, yep, that was him. See, we got Sage D telling us Beast finisher would be a Blanca ball attack versus Braun Strowman. I could see that. That would take anybody out. That would definitely take anybody out. I like that one. Jack's Packet says Wolverine in WWE, a berserker bomb. Think Braun Breaker's spear mixed with Monty Brown's pounce, but a fatal position Logan landed on your chest.
Dude, Monty Brown doesn't get enough credit for that finisher, man.
He does not.
I love the pounce.
Because that motherfucker, and again, I thought Keith Lee had a dope pounce, but Monty kills it with the pounce, bro.
Yeah, it felt like Keith Lee's like always felt like a hey, you jump up, I push you sort of thing.
Yeah.
Monty Brown was like, none of that. I don't need that.
Monty's like, no, I'm throwing you in the air myself. You ain't got nothing.
And it worked well with the 6-sided ring too.
Yeah, it did.
It looked great in there.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. My third and final one, I wanted to stick more of like not the main people. This one is going to be an AEW, and I'm going with Judge Dredd.
Who?
Yeah,
well,
and I'm calling his the clothesline of justice, clothesline from hell. Just justice. 1, 2.
Oh, that's good.
I am the law.
No, we don't talk about that one, man.
Hey, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I like both Judge Dredd movies. Okay,
the first one after, like, I read the comic books after the first movie, so I was like, oh, this would have been cool for a movie.
Yes,
but thankfully, Carl Urban's one got us what we thought Dredd should be, which is why there hasn't been a sequel for it.
Well,
no one knows.
I know too because it was made overseas with the independent third party company.
That movie was?
Yeah, if you watched it at the beginning, none of that is the major studios. I forget who made it, but all of that is overseas. That's not made in America at all.
Really?
Yeah. Because I remember looking it up and I was like, yo, because I thought the same thing like you. Why haven't we gotten a sequel yet? And it was because an independent company made it.
So is it declared is it like an independent film? Does it check that box?
I'm not necessarily sure.
Because I think I
want to say yeah. Because honestly, the people that distributed it was the United Kingdom. It's Entertainment Films that distributed it along with United International Pictures, and that's in South Africa. The production company is Reliance Entertainment, DNA Films, and I Am Global. So like you don't have no like major big companies that help make this movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got it before we got it just because Carl Urban and them were in it, but like everybody else got it before us. Like they released it at like Comic-Con for us to see. Then it came out in the United Kingdom, and then it came out in South Africa, and both of those are around the time in September of 2012.
I remember none of that. I thought it was like I just assumed it was a bigger production, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that just lets you know like how a lot of these international films like really be having some dope stuff that they can push in and make. Just unfortunately it didn't make the money back. So
that's why you don't get it back.
Yeah, because the budget was between 30 and 45 million, and in the box office it only made 41 million. But to that point, though, I think it was because you didn't have a bigger distribution company pushing it out. Like if you'd have had a Warner Brothers,
somebody,
yeah, because a lot of people didn't know about this movie. Like you kind of had to be like us, which is like fans of a lot of this like comic book realm stuff, to know that this is coming out. And unfortunately, like it just didn't get this major push, and it wasn't put in all theaters. Like a lot of people didn't know that too. I think the most, it wasn't it wasn't like a worldwide, it wasn't a nationwide release.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I didn't see it in theaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
fascinating.
It was.
The more you know.
Yeah. Yep, man. It's because I was trying to say, the film was first theatrically released in the UK, South Africa. Yeah, they really don't even tell us the North American. A pre-release tracking estimated the film would gross between 8 to 10 million during its opening weekend, based on the adult rating and poor reputation of the 95 adaptation.
It got hurt by that.
Yeah, it got hurt by that, and then it didn't come. The North American run ended in November 1st after 42 days, so they didn't even keep it in theaters that long.
After 42 days, good grief.
Yeah, so they completely like shitted on this because of the old Dread, and it sucks because if you watch this new Dread, it is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it like a cult classic. Is that close to saying it?
No, it is. It's a cult classic for us.
Interesting.
It failed from the start. And that's the shitty part about it. Like, if people would have got behind it money-wise, I think it could have been a real success. And it just kind of sucks that happened. So,
I did a movie from like 15 years ago. Hurt.
I am the law.
I think I got one more, right?
Yeah.
We got my bad. Again, I went bad guy again. I went Craven.
Nice.
And I had a move similar, but I had a spear sort of deal, but I like this pounce deal a lot better.
Yeah.
So I'm changing that to the pounce. And man, where am I putting him? Like I'm making like you're gonna like this. The new ruler of NXT.
I ain't mad at that actually. I think that'd be dope. Him versus the ruler. Ooh, that's
meat.
Right? Craven versus Oba.
It's meat.
That's gonna be the whole name of the pay-per-view. Jeez, so good, man. Before we get out of here, let me see some other ones that they said. Karnak, New Japan, the pressure point punch. I like that. The Hulk, of course, his finisher would be the clothesline from Hell in WWE. I could see that. Honestly, now you know what I could see. I could see for Hulk, the Hulk smash like behind the ears, like the pow, and that shit knock you out. Like I could see that for the Hulk. Iron Man and War Machine tag team finisher, the 3KD, a 3D from 30 feet in the sky.
Lord have mercy.
You trying to hit people. That's what you trying to do.
Gotta hit the
folks. You are trying to have people not do another match. Is what you saying.
They're like, we're not taking this move again, man. We're never taking this move again.
Lord, yeah, like I ain't doing this no more. Honestly though, anything 30 feet in the air from them would be dope. Like even the Tower of London from 30 feet in the air with the jetpacks on would be fire as fuck. But that 3D just holding them, shoo, and they thrusters bring them down. Oh yeah, it's over. It's over.
Oh my, yeah.
Marvel, we need a wrestling game with these characters. Now that we say this, we let's work this out. Let's work this out, man. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up our episode of the Kayfabe Podcast. Like I said, we want to make sure we keep Deonne on his schedule, and I want to make sure I stick to our time limits and here. So and we did good, man. We under.
Yeah, I got a little more time if you need it.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely want to, because again, like as far as editing purposes and everything, like want to make sure we get this good and tight and stuff like that. So and then we'll get back to shooting the ish as well. Especially like we probably can do that for the 10 minutes just so we do hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah,
but before we get up out of here though, and we switch to it, I just want to make sure please let them know where they can follow and support you.
Yeah, over on All Star Fandom on Instagram. I'm over on TikTok too, but we'll love the support there. Also building the All Star Fandom YouTube channel. We'll love your support over there as well. Some really fun content we're putting together now. I've been MIA on our Daredevil reviews, so Doc, my friend, our partner in this, along with Jen. She's our nerd weekwa. I can never say that, man. My southern accent and everything comes out, but they're holding it down on those reviews, doing a great job on that. Some other stuff hopefully coming up in March. Look out on Instagram too, because weekly I'm going to be putting out these sort of great moments in fandom. Just little things where like the positivity and taking all the toxicity out of fandoms and highlighting those great moments. The last one we just highlighted was when Black Panther released, how underprivileged kids got an opportunity to go to the movies free of charge. So those good moments in our fandom and the stuff that we love. There's more positive than negatives. So we're just highlighting that every week over on Instagram, little 40-second clip. But yeah, we'll love your support if you're watching this over on YouTube and over on Instagram. So yeah, and obviously support the Kayfabe Podcast too. This has been a fun project. What week are we in? 10 episodes deep now? So
10 episodes deep, man. A total of the entire series, I think we're at 40. So it's going. With this is considered. I consider this for the show season 2.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's like season 1 / season 2 if you can fan.
Yeah.
So, but of course, you can find your councilman at Will Pharaoh, PHARAOH, on all social medias. That is X, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I already said Twitter. Facebook as well. Like I'm really shaping up my Facebook. And shout out to everybody that's been on Facebook. Y'all have completely blown my page up. Switching my personal to professional. I had like 5,000 followers. Put up a video that went incredibly viral. It hit like 40 million, and now I'm sitting.
Oh, dope!
Yeah, appreciate that. Now I'm sitting at 62,000 followers. So thank you so much for all of you that are supporting over there, and then as well too. Please support the YouTube, just as well as to Deonne's point. Please share these things. Please share these share this with other people. If you see folks that are wrestling fans that you interact with on social, let them know. Even for comic book fans and stuff, please let them know. Like, hey, if you want to see some dope stuff, please go follow All Star Fandom's page. Go follow Straight Out of a Comic Book, and go follow Will Pharaoh's YouTube and Twitch. And to all my Twitch people, get ready because next week I will be back on Twitch with the gaming WWE 2K25. Building out the character, going through the showcase. We are going to be on this game a lot. So get ready, as well as Marvel Rivals as well. You'll be seeing that gameplay too. So I'm definitely getting back on my gaming Twitch side. So we appreciate each and every single one of y'all watching the today's episode. Please like the video. That helps way more than you know. Comment on this as well. Let us know again who you think The Rock and John Cena's name should be. Let us know how you think Invasion could have been a little bit better. Do you agree with Booker T being the #1 black wrestler of all time? Again, the more y'all put in there, the more views that we get, the better we can support this to where, hey, we can start being able to do this as a living and continuing to give y'all dope content. Now we're going to play our outro out, and then we're going to shoot the ish for a little bit because I know I definitely got to get some other stuff going, and I know Big Papa Deonne got to get so
holla if you hear me.
Holla if you hear me. And then after that, you hear the baby sound. Oh, he heard me. Yeah. So we're gonna be right back after this. All right, we shooting the ish, man. So are you caught up with Daredevil?
Dude, I'm not. So I'm super happy that Rufus and they've taken the lead on this, because I was like, I have not had an opportunity at all. So I hope we're not want to talk about it.
I'm gonna say this. I did not plan to be traumatized by watching the show. I was not.
It's hit that hard.
It hit that hard, and we only 3 episodes in.
Because I know that just from listening to like the review and doing some other stuff with it from the first 2 episodes, I sort of got the premise of what has happened so far. But man, it's
ridiculous.
From what I'm hearing, it feels like
Where's
it's
that
still on Netflix, right?
It's on what?
It still feels like it still has that Netflix feel to it.
Yes. It still has that. It still has that Netflix feel to it. But better, like even better. Like for some reason, like I don't know how they managed that, but like it's like they just improved it even more. Like the shots, how they're shot, the for one, it even feels more of like you feel more of the intensity of the city, and it's just incredible, bro. Like that,
Yeah.
Camera angles, how they're writing this stuff, it's like, bro, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, and again, we only 3 episodes.
3 episodes in of an 8 episode season, 9 episode season.
Yeah. So what they did was originally it was supposed to be 18 episodes for the reboot. And of course, you know, all the stuff they went through to now where it's like, okay, we're going to go back to the Netflix style. So they broke both of them up. So we're going to get this 9. And then next year, season 2 is going to immediately come out with the other 9.
So have they finished all 18?
They're reshooting the other 9 now.
Okay.
Yeah. So because like basically the 18 were done. So they've kept a few things and stuff like that. And then you'll see it too, because in some things like where you can kind of tell like some of the things that were reshot to go with it, and some of the things that they did keep from the original. But it is, yeah.
It's making me happy to hear that that this is being received so well, and then hopefully this reception spins off into more of those coming back, like a Luke Cage coming back, like a Jessica Jones coming back.
So I'm thoroughly convinced that those 2 will. Like those,
so?
Yeah. Because they already drop a hint about Luke Cage.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they already dropped a hint about him. They already mentioned some of the people from the MCU as well in here. So it is like it gelled in so perfectly. Like,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, when you sit down and watch it, you're gonna love it. So
now I have caught up on Reacher. Reacher hasn't had a bad episode yet.
Hey, look, listen. 6 for 8 already. 6 for 8 already.
Dude, I am coming around to him being Batman even more.
Oh, that's Batman, bro.
There's a clip where he talks about doing it for free.
Yes.
Did you hear his Batman voice at the end of it?
Yes, bro.
I listened to him and I watched him say it, and then I turned my head and listened to it, and I was like, oh, that's
Batman, bro.
That might work.
That's Batman, bro.
And it looks like he gotten bigger. I swear he does not look.
Oh, yes. I went rewatched the other 2 seasons after watching the first 3 episodes of Reacher. I was like, man, read the first 2 seasons back, man. I got time today. Run it back. From the first one to 3, I'm like, bro, I don't know what fucking horses you were eating for the last year, but how the fuck did you get this big?
How did he get bigger?
Yeah.
That's what, and again, if you're telling me that's gonna be the stature of our Batman, come on, man. I don't know who you're gonna pick now. Like, who's this DCU Batman? Because
I don't know, bro. Because the only thing I don't want them to do, man, is I'm tired of the new 52 style. And then watching Superman, I was like, and how they cast Superman, I was like, and I have to kind of see him. I was like, the dude that plays Superman, is he a big guy?
Well, he put on muscles for this, but the suit doesn't show it off well.
Yeah, but it's just also too like height wise, because it's like, okay, when we look at Superman, and now we know what Alan Rickman looked like in real life. Like, what is that going to look like with Batman and Superman standing near each other? And I just hope they don't try to go the route of like, okay, well, we need to pick a more slender, athletic looking Batman. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Dude, you had that. You had not the slender one, but you had Cavill and Affleck, whose stature-wise worked. So it's, and I thought the same thing. If you go get Reacher, I just call him Reacher now. If you go get him as Batman and you put him side by side next to who you have as Superman, his name leaves me at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
There's two. I don't. He's gonna look bigger probably if we like a stat line for this. But I'm coming around again. I think I've said this to nauseum. I don't want any more real world Batman because real world Batman in a world with Superman.
Oh, sir. No, that's gonna happen. His name is David Corensett. He's 6'4".
Oh, perfect.
There we go. Reacher's Batman. Reacher is fucking Batman.
That's perfect because that's how when you read and you listen to, or at least look at the stats, that's how tall Batman and Superman usually are. Like 6'4", 6'6". It's somewhere in that range.
Yeah. Okay. I'm convinced now. Because again, I didn't. And Superman's 6'3" in the comic books.
Because
I wasn't sure.
And the thing is, he got in great shape to be Superman. Like they showed pictures of him how he looked like in Twisters, and then they showed his gym photo. But the suit hasn't really showed off.
No, it has. It has in ways made him small. And whoa.
Wait, have you see him now?
Yo, no. Alan Richardson. Well, Reacher's 6'3". Reacher's my height. Oh, so that means Superman is taller than him. Oh yeah, bro. If y'all don't make this man Batman
work,
y'all bet. Yo, look, James Gunn, if you watching this, if you don't make Reacher Batman, we got a fucking problem.
Because it's like, who do you pick? And at this point,
don't pick no bro. That is and then you already got Jason Momoa as Lobo. Like, bro, I'm convinced. Like, we already got Batman, and it's Reacher. Reacher is Batman.
But see, that's the thing too. Like, DC has always been like their superheroes and villains have always been like God level stature. You know what I mean? Like your Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are like gods essentially. Make them look as so.
And I think that's what they get in the wars. And the cool thing about it is that even some of these villains ain't got to necessarily be actors. Like a lot, like if you look at Superman, Brainiac can low key be CGI and just get a dope dude to voice act him. Same thing with Doomsday, like you did in Justice League. There are quite a few villains in here where you don't necessarily have to cast real people,
especially considering whatever team up they do, because their team ups have to be like massive. Like we know, again, we said we beat this to death. As it feels like, but if you copied Marvel, no DC fan would have mind.
Nope, not at all.
Because it's essentially the same story.
Yeah. Because again, the CGI point, like Bane, CGI, Killer Croc, CGI, Dr. Cyber, CGI. Penguin you can cast as a regular person. Like when you get to the Batman ones, that's where you can kind of like
Clayface.
It's Clayface, CGI. Also too, man, we had a dope one for what's his face? Dang, what is his face? Slade. Because I don't want to Deathstroke, right?
Yeah.
I said Dean from Supernatural should play Deathstroke.
You know what?
Sit with a little bit.
I'm not mad at that. I can see it. I'm not mad at that.
I said either that or Two-Face. I think he'd make an incredible Two-Face.
Oof. Oh, I can see him as both now.
Yeah.
Like I've got him in the suit, got him with the goatee for Deathstroke.
Yep.
Eye patch. I'm not mad at it, man.
Yeah.
Because now we're playing with like DC, we don't know where that casting sort of lies now. Like we don't know who they'll go after for a Wonder Woman now, you know? Because I even think Gal Gadot at the time, we was like, for real? But then we saw her, we were like, okay, we are good. Oh, really? No?
I was not fucking with that, bro.
Okay, her introduction in BVS was the best.
It was no.
One of the best moments.
How they rolled out Wonder Woman, I thought was great, and I thought because of the rollout, she should have been the Iron Man of DC. She should have been the anchor of that whole thing. I think it would have tied it in. I just was not convinced of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Did you not like the first movie?
I like the first movie. I just don't like her. I don't like the accent. I didn't like the. Again, I get what they were going for, but I'm like, yo, that's not the Wonder Woman I'm used to.
And they changed, like, at least I read this, is that everybody, because of her accent, a lot of like the women at the mascara sort of leaned into how she talked.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't like that.
I get it. But
yeah, I have to find Aries. I'm
okay,
like,
so okay, it's not great. Kal-El, no, yeah, it wasn't great.
Right.
But when
you said we will stop the war.
But when she was in action mode, that was Wonder Woman that we imagined. That No Man's Land is.
It was, but
masterpiece.
That's writing and shot. That didn't really necessarily have to do with the actress.
You're right. Even her fight scene when she went into that building and tore the boys up.
Because I would have taken Jessica Biel to be Wonder Woman before I took Gal Gadot.
You know who this is probably right at the beginning of DCU. Remember the movie John Carter?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the woman in that movie?
Don't make me into a liar, sir.
If you look at her, even in that movie, she looked like she could have been a solid Wonder Woman.
Wait, which one?
Did she have hair?
Oh, you talking about the lady from X-Men Origins, Wolverine, his chick.
Was that her?
That's her. Yeah,
she was in that movie too.
Yeah,
okay.
Because you talking about the one with the black hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn Collins.
Yes, that's
yeah. No, she was Wolverine's girlfriend.
Yeah, if you go back and look at her in like John Carter,
no, she'd have made a great Wonder Woman. I liked her because she was in True Blood. That's one of our True Blood actresses right there.
Gotcha. Yeah, she even like just look at her in John Carter. I was like, okay, that she would have been a dope Wonder Woman. But that's been years for that now, and they're going younger. So
yeah, I would have definitely took her as Wonder Woman again, and that's why I just like I get y'all were trying to go for the international route as far as because like being like from their mascara and stuff like that. So it's like again, I get what you were going for. I'm not mad about it, but it's just like I think like especially from what even they said to the point of, and just so y'all know, this is the woman Carter. To the point of what they'd even said in the movie, they speak several different languages. So it's like, yo, why couldn't she have like a straight regular accent?
It's true.
Her linguistics should have been more on point. If you're saying they know all these languages, then her linguistics should have been well on point when she's talking to these people.
Yeah, I keep trying to think like how she sounded.
We have to fight Aries.
Okay, she sounded better in the worst movie, Wonder Woman 82.
Yeah,
she sounded better in that.
84.
Yeah, sorry, I've only seen it one time. I watched it on Christmas when it released. Never had a desire to watch it ever again.
Likewise, never went back.
But because nothing made sense in that movie. But no, it was like that's the only time she sounded better. Even if you watch like the Justice League one, even the extended one, she doesn't. Yeah, it's some brutal lines in there for her. But overall casting for that DC EU, whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
they were solid, man. Ray Fisher as Cyborg was a dope character, and the fact they cut all of his story out was the worst.
That was ass. Because who else I saw? I know she's not a big enough star to do it, but what's her face from Thor? His homegirl, the black with the black
Lady Sif.
Yeah, she could have been Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
she could have been a dope Wonder Woman. But again, I know she may not have the biggest star power to pull in box office like they want to.
But that's the thing, Will. I don't think you need that because the thing that sells it is Wonder Woman.
Right.
Like, that logo sells it. You have DC has the 3 most recognizable superheroes in the world.
That's
and
the
have
whole
not
truth.
been able to do anything with them. I said on Twitter last time, like it was like the biggest villain or greatest villain ever. I put WB because they've been terrorizing Batman and Superman for decades.
Yes. Even too, like I know y'all.
Cocaine had a trip.
This one even still kind of this was still kind of a trip. But the chick from How I Met Your Mother, who's also in Avengers, Nick Fury's side, Kobe Smolder, I think.
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah,
she could have been Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think we're great picks, man. But I think they're gonna go obviously younger direction.
Yeah, I can see them going a little bit
at this point now.
And I feel like they're trying to go a little bit more exotic too. Still, I think they're gonna still try to fall into that realm of exotic.
Man, just give me a solid Wonder Woman day to day.
You know, they're gonna hire Ana de Armas as Wonder Woman.
Is that who I think it is?
The chick that's in the new ballerina movie, the new John Wick. They probably gonna cast her. They're probably gonna cast her as
okay. Well, I gotta ask you this: the Superman movie that's coming out within how many? 3 months? 4 months?
What? April,
2
May?
months?
4 months.
4 months. Do you think this movie makes or break DC? Like, if it doesn't go, if they don't hit it out the park, are we done with that? If they don't land it.
So the thing is with this is what is the direction of what we're trying to do? So I think that's still the biggest thing James Gunn still has not answered. Because with Marvel, we knew what Marvel was trying to do. Marvel is trying to get to Avengers.
Exactly.
Okay. So we know we now have a consistent line of where we need to plot these things, and they piece together how this stuff would go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing of where DC kind of has an issue is because you have to do cleanup. And there's a lot of things and pieces that you decided to keep, which again, we're not mad at, but you've now put more on you because of that, because right after Superman, Peacemaker comes out. So now you have to explain how Peacemaker makes sense. Now you also have to explain how does Amanda Waller still make sense?
Harley Quinn is still in the universe too.
Somewhere. And we don't know if Margot Robbie is playing her or what.
I would assume so, but
again, we don't know. So it's really on what are you trying to achieve? What are we trying to get to? If you're trying to do it to where, hey, we're just now a DC company and we're looking to just make our characters into dope films and dope trilogies, then if that's what you're doing, cool. If you're not trying to put it to where we're going somewhere to like Crisis on Infinite Earths, then it's like, okay, we can take some of this pressure off Superman and be able to say, okay, I'm here strictly for the Superman movie.
Yeah.
But if you're getting it to where it's like, hey, I'm trying to tie this into everything else, it's like, this is where you start to come to where we're going to hit an issue.
Mm-hmm. Because people are going to be like, why is he here when, why are we having a new Superman when Harley Quinn is the same person from the last generation or whatever?
And you've established that you have other people that's going to be in here, like Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, and Green Lantern. So now we know lanterns exist. And so you also now have the Lantern series coming out. Does that Lantern series tie in with Superman? We don't know. So that's the big question that we got to now try to see and like figure out, like, yo, like what ride are we on? And again too, like I don't need it to be giving us the full layout, because I think we've done a good job to where we're not getting that. But if it's where we're, hey, like, you may just have to let us know, hey, we're just what I told you, we're doing, this is the God and monster era. That's it. We're not, as it's not me tying everything in. We have our stuff where it is a part of the entire universe. and we have stuff that is what's considered otherworld. Because, like he said, like they're supposed to be doing a Swamp Thing horror film that has nothing to do with the DCU.
Yeah, and like Elseworld, we already established like the Joker and the Batman.
Those are Elseworld
not connected.
Yeah, and I believe Harley Quinn, the animated series, is a part of Elseworld.
This is wild, man. Just for the fact, like you're probably going to have two Batman at the same time. There's a shot at it. Or do you finish up Matt Reeves' Batman and then introduce another new Batman?
Well, no, because the thing is, like, Matt Reeves' Batman don't come in until 2027. And from what James Gunn is saying, too, I don't think you're necessarily going to see anything from Batman for a while. Because that's what they said. They're not rolling out Batman quick. They're not rushing to roll out Batman. Batman is not like the next thing up. Like, because I think his was supposed to be Brave and the Bold. Like, his is nowhere near, like, the next one. Because the next thing is Superwoman, Peacemaker. That's where you're introducing Lobo as well in the Superwoman film. So Batman has a good little time before it's time for him to come out.
So do you finish up with Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy and then you're done?
I don't even think you need a trilogy. I think part 2 is fine.
I just assumed it was a trilogy. I don't think they've ever said it.
I did too, just because they kept saying part 2, but I'm just like, I'm cool with a sequel and just leave it at that. Like you've given us, because kind of technically we already got 3. Like Penguin, I consider it to be a film in that stuff. Like, so just give us a part 2 where we see where this Batman is, and then leave us with that. I don't think you need to keep going with him. I don't have nothing against Robert Pattinson as Batman or anything. I think that story is incredible. But as you said, like, I don't need multiple Batmans going on.
No.
I like the story. Let's end it. Just because, again, I don't want to have a Joker issue when that sequel comes out. Because, dear God, like, I don't even. You know what it felt like? You know what it felt like watching Joker the sequel?
What was that?
It was like Todd Phillips cheated on his first test and then had to take another one
by himself.
And then that was the result. So we was like, oh, so you cheated on this first one.
It's okay. I'll completely admit, I haven't seen either of the movies. I haven't seen the first Joker.
First one is
probably won't see the second one. But
first one is cinema. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Watch the first, because the first one is it's you will enjoy it as a DC person because of how they've written it.
Okay.
This is definitely one of those of like someone taking a comic book story and making it into, and taking that lore and making it into a dope movie where it don't necessarily have to be the same guidelines as the comic, but taking a reimagining of it, it works so well. It works incredibly. Just do not watch the sequel.
I think it's just my protest of DC at the time, man. I'm like, direction, they have none. Yeah. Like, is this an investment that I should make?
No, that's why I say just watch the first one.
Okay.
Just watch the first one. You will enjoy the first one thoroughly. Don't you dare click on that second. You bypass when they tell you, when they give you videos to recommend, you click back and go back to your full home screen. Don't
gotcha,
go,
man. It's
don't go to that.
I wanna trust DC so much, man. And I know people said James Gunn is gonna be great for it, but my hesitancy is still there because
it's still,
I've been burnt so many times with Batman, Superman, Flash. It's just the point where, like, man, how many hits can I keep taking till I just say, like, you know what, man, I have to tap out. I tapped out.
And I'm still hesitant about it, but I think James Gunn has this unique sense of taking stuff and making it through his eyes and making it beautiful. But this is now too where I think this is his biggest test, because this is the first time where you have a juggernaut of a character that you have to make work, which I think is way more difficult than taking characters that no one knows about and making them into popular characters, because no one knew who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy was. And to me, I will still argue that is one of Marvel's greatest trilogies. I think that's their best trilogy.
For sure. Yeah. You know, you're right. I think they were my number one when I ranked them.
That's three back-to-back rings right there. I don't give a fuck what nobody say about 2. I will argue 2 because 2 was fucking dope to me.
2 was great. Yeah.
They got right. They did the hat trick. That's 3 rings.
Yeah. Then the third one. I mean, yeah.
Woo!
Then the third one. I mean, of a raccoon, man.
Yeah.
Like, we getting teary-eyed in the theater.
Almost join Peter. Be like, hey man, fuck y'all killing animals. Let me get a 2-piece from Popeyes. I'm all confused.
Like, that's okay. But no, you're right. Like, I never heard anybody put it that way, Will, when you say it. Like, now he has a mainstream character that you have to land.
Yep.
Because everybody knows this character. Everybody knows this symbol. Everybody knows who Superman and Clark Kent are.
Yeah.
It's what you do with it. And hopefully you hold that legacy up and build off of it.
Yeah.
Or build something new through it. Because
and
like you said, it's easier for him to do Guardians that way. Like, we'll see what we do here with that caliber of superhero.
And I'm holding out hope, not to be, ironic about it, but the S on the symbol on the chest, I'm holding out hope for it just because of what I've seen. I was like, I think it'll work because I think one thing that from what I picked up on was that I think he's working well with is that you're not trying to make it modern. You went back into the DC realm. You went back into the DC realm.
Yeah.
You went back into making it looks like, okay, we're in the golden age of these comic books. Like, okay, we're back in that we're not here in the times right now. Like we got maybe a few modern things that we're seeing, but it's like, it really looks like you dove back into the comic book.
And build your own world, man. You don't have to be modern. Like, you look at Batman the animated series. Don't know what time.
I don't know what year that shit happened.
But it feels timeless, right?
It feels timeless. That's the only thing I was kind of pissed about with the Cape Crusader because they kind of did let us know where we were at wise with Batman. I was like, see, y'all fucked up with that. You should have stuck like the animated series and stuck where it was at.
It's just timeless, man. The technology is there, but yet there's a landline phone.
Exactly. But you bring up a great point with that. If James Gunn can make them timeless, then he has something. And again, all of the movies don't have to be like that. I think that's how you work around making DC great. Give us different variations of that because we know Peacemaker's in modern times, so you can't rework that to where you make it timeless. But I don't think you need that for Peacemaker. Keep him in modern day times. Keep him there. Give us to where, and again, too, I think that's where you start to shape up the differences between these places. Because now you're not only, if you make Superman timeless, you're making Metropolis timeless. And we already know cities are vastly different.
Yes.
So if you start giving the cities personalities like that, like, yo, when you come to Metropolis, it's a timeless city.
No, you're right.
It's completely different. When you go to what's Flash's?
Central City, isn't
Central City, yeah. Coastal City, something completely different. Then you had your regular stuff. Like, if you're in fucking Philadelphia, like Peacemaker, I don't know if he's in Philadelphia, but like in those parts, it's cool. You don't have to really name the city itself, but it's okay for it to be modern. Like when Waller comes out, Waller can be modern time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like if you're doing like my Alan Reacher Batman, like, give me Batman the animated series Batman.
Which is so wild because as fans, we ask for that. Like, that's the quintessential Batman. Like, we think Batman as fans, we go, I'll speak for myself, go straight to the animated series.
Yeah.
That's how he was built from there. His core values are there. Even in Justice League, same values, same everything. Yeah. It's hard. It's funny that we always say, like, man, just pull stuff from that. We're good with that. You got a great source to pull from, and just take that and make it. But I like the idea what you said about the worlds, the cities, because having fictional cities is a lot different than like Marvel. Like, they're straight up New Yorks, there's DCs, they are within the world. But these fictional worlds, you have an opportunity to create them differently than anything else, or give them their own personality.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I like it too. Now, before we get out of here, I have to have one more chance to be a hater real quick. So, Honey got to meet her hero, as y'all can see right here.
Oh, I bet she's shaking.
Look how happy she is.
Boy.
But you know what?
Oh, she showed the picture.
Is this part right here? This why I don't fuck with Brett. You supposed to smile. What the fuck
He
is
is smiling. Look at him.
Show your teeth, nigga. Show your motherfucking teeth. You be happy. Look at
Honey
me.
is so
I
happy.
don't trust niggas that smile without their teeth. I ain't never trust a dude that go, you up to something. You up to something. That mid-ass smile. How dare you treat our trio's partner like that?
But she's so happy. You can tell in that picture. She's, oh my goodness. I love seeing that.
She's like a fat kid at Christmas right now. She is just tickled pink.
Oh my goodness. Literally.
I'm glad that she got to meet him. I'm glad she got to meet her hero, man. But we're gonna go ahead and close this up because I do definitely got some other stuff I gotta get going with.
I gotta get back on the clock.
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking the time to shoot the ish with us, especially everybody that stayed in the chat with us, man. I'm gonna probably try to figure out how to do double of these just so for editing purposes. You're not having to try to like find the cut and stuff like that. So that way we also too can have just like two different versions of it. Like we'll jump out, hop in another link, and then come back live. So we just have that episode for the wrestling. So it's easy for you to do. But we appreciate y'all tuning in with us. Check back in next week. We'll jump on the live. Hopefully Honey will be able to get back in with us and we get back into this rotation. So thank y'all for checking us out. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe out there and take your damn vitamins because, they got some sicklies out here. But we'll catch y'all next time.